Yes, I just noticed my mic wasn't on, but that's okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you all are doing well. Again, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. It's another Blue Morning show, specifically the preview for Chelsea 2, Dynamo Zagreb 1. Again, it's going to be fun. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. As it is a tradition here, we'll try and get, again, look at what we have in the chat already. Again, I'm sure a few people are there, and we have Liam Lane here again, who, again, surprisingly to me, I didn't know he was going to be here today, and I had to send a message to see how he was doing. He underwent an operation, but good to hear that it went well. Nice to see you, brother. Again, stay strong, and I believe everything will be all right. Thank you so much again. Please like and subscribe when you enter. Yes, people will have just 5 likes. Let's try to get it to 50 likes as soon as possible. Again, if you enter, as it helps the channel to reach a wider audience. We want more people because the more people we have here, the more fun it will be. Let's allow at least a 2, 3 Premier League games before we all start jumping on the Zakaria bandwagon. And I'm reading on media saying that he is what we need in the midfield, blah, blah, blah. I get your argument. Again, it doesn't take a game to say, again, to decide whether, again, he should stay with us. But before I knew him, again, I've known him for a while. I know he's a good player. The question is he going to be able to replicate that form he showed when even, Blue Lions TV and all those channels were linking us with him. I didn't know there's no way telling how serious, again, those rumors then were, but he did quite well. Let's talk about how well he did, and let's decide, okay, but I get your argument. Let's decide whether is it good enough for Chelsea or not. Right now, you can say, again, in terms of fulfilling that role, capability of reading the game, his pace, his build, his physical ability, you can say, yeah, he's the best we can do at this point. But I get it. I was so happy for Zakaria last night. He was my man of the match, but so sorry for Chilwell. Yeah, Zakaria went off to maybe a knock or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I'm really concerned. I have to say that the Chelsea fan base will overhype a player when he hits a pour on the form. We start asking for their heads. That's the Chelsea fan base for you. If they do otherwise, I'd ask for it for their IDs to please somebody help me again find out if that's the same if that's the same player we're talking about or not. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Again, definitely happy to see Zakaria play. That's the truth, but that doesn't mean we should just jump to the conclusion the club should pay the money that Juventus are asking to keep him out of the club. He did quite well, kept it simple, did the basics, which is, again, when you're playing in that role, it's important that you keep it as simple as possible. And yet, he did quite well overall. Let me see what we have here again. Absolutely. And big ups to my brother, Mikhail. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. I was going to, again, reach out and ask you whether you'd have the time to do Canada's best 11 again before the World Cup starts. But again, more importantly, bro, I appreciate you finding time to join. And already I have Roger in the house. Roger, how are you doing, brother?
So sorry, I was muted. I'm
Oh,
alive,
yeah.
sir. How are you, sir?
And when you're using your phone, it takes time.
No, actually, I'm using a MacBook Pro. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead, brother.
I'm just slow. I'm doing well. It was a different game. I'm really pleased that we got to see Zakaria for one way or another. Absolutely delighted for him that he actually scored. But I'm not really here to talk about his goal. I'm really quite pleased. He brought a physical presence, and to be honest with you, I thought he played well.
He made a difference.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
for sure. And we will get to him in a bit. He made a difference, but go ahead.
Yeah, I thought 3 in the middle of the park. It was basically a 4-3-3, a hybrid of a 1-2, but I get it.
Was that what it was? Not 4-2-3-1?
No, it's a 4-3-3.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I believe it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but for what I saw, it was
I think it's everywhere. It's hard to tell, really. Given again, it was really fluid. But go ahead.
I saw basically a lot of Mount in the middle. It was basically Mount, Zakaria, and J5, and I think Jorginho benefited from this mostly because he had the protection. Hence, he was able to. Well, I understand the opponent, the level of the opponent, but he made a lot of forward passes. If you notice, I mean, it's
Did you
noticeable
notice
on the
really they
Potter, you
came
can
to
tell.
play? The
I mean,
opposition
the
came to
opponent,
play. They didn't defend deep
sure, yeah,
like they
because
did in the first leg.
yeah, because they're playing for Europa
Europa
League.
League spot.
Yeah, so which is a big deal for them, and you know, revenue, which I respect, you know. But I thought Jorginho benefits from having two other midfielders, even though they have a license to roam per se. But yeah, and if you notice, Mount was played a lot deeper. So if you notice throughout the whole game, if you watch it again, you'll see that he was in the middle of the park mostly. So I thought actually Pulisic actually played better when he came on. I thought Sterling, he did take the goal really well, but I must admit he had two golden other opportunities.
He denied Kai Havertz of two brilliant assists, really.
Yes, yeah, yeah. He's not technically his first touch. And look how many times he lost the ball. I was like, oh, I wanted to throw my Apple remote at the TV. It was, I don't know. I don't get it. I feel sorry for Chile. I really do. World Cup coming up. Even though I don't believe he would be a starter, he'd be a backup to Shaw, or at least a rotation. Sorry for swearing.
He's not going again. Yeah,
but,
that's clearly the case now.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it popped. You could tell by Mount's reaction when he spoke to him on the pitch. He put his hand to his face. It was bad. Well, you don't want to see anyone hurt, especially prior to a World Cup. So, but yeah, I thought it was a solid performance, but realistically, it's not exactly Real Madrid, is it, that we're playing? You know, I would like to see us play like
played
this
really
versus
well.
Arsenal.
They had a few good chances, really, but we'll look at the numbers in a bit.
Yeah, and our defense, we were what they call ball watching when we conceded that goal. That was pretty amateurish. You know, we're still vulnerable in the air. And the other thing I want to quickly say is I did notice yet again, how many times did we get ahead on the ball from corners? And yet, was the keeper even challenged? No, we're not clinical in the air like we used to be. You know, you have a look at who's the former centre back that went to West Ham. I forgot his name. The guy that blew out his knee, bless him. I forgot his name. Rudiger.
Zuma.
Yeah, Kurt Zuma. Kurt, it's like he would always hit the target. Same with Rudiger. I mean, predominantly, not always, but predominantly. We've always had a tradition of having centre backs that are lethal from corners, and I just don't see that from ours. This is week in, week out. We are not hitting the target. You know, we should have put 5 or 6 away. We had 20 plus shots. And to come away with only 2 goals, I thought not that clinical at all. We're still lacking that cutting edge, and that's going to cost us against a good team. You're talking about points dropped or even defeats, and that's where we need to change. And it's not just under Potter; it's been under Tuchel and even under Frank. So,
but you can say it's gotten
I
worse.
thought I was really.
Go ahead.
Yes, I think so.
It gotten worse, and you can say down to lack of proper, you can say, communication between the defenders, because in that instance, Koulibaly, he went to cover the line, but Chalobah was still again expecting him to be in that position, and didn't you can say didn't go for it on time. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Chile. I mean, first of all, the cross shouldn't have even been allowed to come in. He should have blocked it. Chilwell wasn't tight enough on the player. I've noticed this week in, week out. Chile doesn't get tight to a player to block the cross. So, you know, these are fundamentals. These are the basics, and they're not being achieved. I don't know. They need to work on the defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it will improve. Again, the whole issue we've had you could say majority of the times stemmed from lack of proper protection from the midfield. But the aerial though thing, it comes down to lack of proper communication on their own and not from the midfield. But that's, by the way, I'll come back to you in a bit. A few stuff we have to look at. Jorginho should never play again. You can't just drop such statement. Tell us why. You can't just say Jorginho shouldn't play. How we operate here is when you say that, you have to elaborate so we understand what you're saying.
Exactly.
Again, and if we see it, we'd like to read it, we'd like to talk about it, but it has to go beyond the Jorginho should never play again. And by the way, Gina, Mark Loba, nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Let me see what else, anything else to address here. Mario Minto, Mario, again, nice to see you. I'm sure by now you must have recovered fully. If that's the case, yep, again, I thank God for you. Well, happy for you. A few things to look at here, Liam, Roger. Some of them are very funny. Before we go into looking at the numbers proper, this one really, for me, is hilarious indeed. It's Mason Mount saying, the lads have been, again, battering me the last couple of games. I've got man of the match as they don't think I deserve it. So next time, here's the lesson to learn here. Here's the lesson to learn here. In such a situation, again, when somebody says this, just learn from it that when you hear somebody else, a fan say Mason Mount doesn't deserve to win this, just let them speak their mind. They have every right to say that. So the lesson is, even the players themselves thinks he shouldn't win it, and
that's very modest.
Exactly,
very
and he's
modest
humble enough to say it.
Yeah, that's actually that's lovely to see. Actually,
because probably he doesn't think he should win it.
So do you think Lukaku would have said this?
Oh no, he would have probably would think it should be him, but really, I don't think he should have. As much as I know he's a good player, I don't think he should have won the man of the match yesterday.
Yeah,
really,
ditto.
Yeah, and if you look at it again, Mason Mount, the lads have been battering me the last couple of games. Again, I've got man of the match as they don't think I deserved it, but today I don't think I deserve it. This is him being honest too. How they make that decision, I don't know. Dennis Zakaria came in and was unbelievable. He deserves the man of the match.
I thought so.
Yeah, as much as I don't think it was, Dennis did enough. I don't think it was Dennis, but I don't think it was Mount. If Dennis wins it, it's a good shot because he did very well. But yeah, this is honesty at its peak, really. But so when people criticize them, don't fight them. Just present your opinion and move on.
Sure,
even players, go ahead.
That's a really good point, Coach. It's a really good point. Listen, everyone is entitled to their opinions. That's what makes this game so great. You know, people watch a game through different lenses, through different prisms, perspectives, and you know, and that's fine. You know, and you have to respect it as long as they're relatively knowledgeable and it's constructive. But do you know what I actually thought? Once again, had an amazing game is Chalobah. I mean, every week he's looking so solid. He's dominating in the air. He's getting more technical on the ball. He seems more relaxed. He's impressing me week in, week out. I'm so glad we have kept him.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a bit. Again, even Koulibaly, his presence made a huge difference. The way he plays, that's why, again, I like it when he's centrally. I don't like him on the left. Again, for the left centre-back position, I think he does better centrally. And
he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he participates in the play quite a lot. So I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna look at again what those in the chat thinks about what again Mason Mount's comments before we move on to the next. We'll soon get into the match rating proper, the match preview proper. We're just talking about some updates here, some stuff we have to look at. Let me see again. Again, morning to you, to Mikhail. I know I've said hello to you, brother. Again, let me see what else we have here. A shout out to you, to brother Jim Mark Loba. Again, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Yes, I am. Thanks for the prayers. You're very welcome, brother. We're one here. We're family here. We've grown beyond the channel to a community. We do care about each other again. And thanks for letting us know that's not easy in the first place. Choma yourself says good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too. Thanks for finding the time to join the show today. It looks like probably on your way to work, or you're not working today, but always nice to see you. I feel gutted for Chilwell. These injuries are all to do with the busy schedule. It's too much. Plus, Chile got rushed back. In my opinion, I'm not sure what to say about that. But I hope he's still recovering. He's not actually fully fit in terms of how well he's playing after recovering from the first one. We're still complaining how he seemed to be a bit reluctant to pass the ball quickly. And this isn't going to help either. Hopefully he comes back better. But again, this isn't because he hasn't fully recovered from the other one. And here again, good morning, everyone. It's good to be back. How y'all all doing? Gabriel, Alma, it's been a while, brother. But the good thing is to have you back. I hope things are well with you. Chalobah will be out again. Will be our new JT, learning from Silver best. He's learning from you. Whenever you're counting the people he's learning from, don't count out Koulibaly. Koulibaly, he brings something different to the table, and I think there's something he can learn. He can learn quite a lot from Koulibaly too. Silva
That's
also
a good point,
you could say two defensive generals he's learning from, and believe me, you can say he's improved so much. He's become a bit more calm, not too much in a rush to make decisions. Again, well calculated decisions from him of late, which shows he's really growing. Again, good morning to you too, Limitless. Nice to see you, brother. Again, I hope you're doing well. Here we have again, big morning again, and big up everyone. Blue morning to you, the coolest Charles, my brother Tobago. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. 12 likes. Let's try to get it to, again, 50 likes as soon as possible. Let me join for 5 minutes. I have something on my chest. Again, bring on the fight, brother. What else do we have here? Nothing more there. You were going to say something, Roger. Let's, again, hit it before we move to the next, again, a random topic.
Sure.
Lined up, really.
I thought that's a really good point about Chalobah learning from not only Silva, but from Koulibaly. I mean, listen, the last 5 years, he's been mentioned as one of the top, centre-backs in the whole of Europe. He's been considered one of the elites. So I never thought we'd have him in our teams, as I thought that chance had expired. But, for Chalobah or any other centre-back to be learning from these two elite players, world-class players, I think it's invaluable. You can't put a price on it. And I think it's showing probably. And it's not just the things that he's learning on the pitch, probably about how to conduct yourself also off the pitch and in the locker room. I think it's the whole package that both of those players bring to the team. Yep. A bit of catch up here again. Why do we always concede goals? We needed to defend well. We made changes to our defensive line, so there will be communication issues. There will be chemistry issues. Again, a confusion. Again, the defense is one of the, you could say, the most difficult area to assemble, or again, in a team. In the sense, again, if one person leaves, you bring in a new player in, there's always an issue. You see mistake you can get away with in the midfield area. For instance, it's lack of understanding how each other plays. That Chalobah wasn't in the right place because he was still expecting Koulibaly to be there, whereas Koulibaly was already on the line trying to protect the line. So it's the lack of understanding how each other plays that led to that goal, you could argue. Again, Koulibaly is teaching him what not to do. You have to elaborate. Don't start again. But I think I understand what you're saying in terms of the way, the sort of tackles he puts in sometimes, that's how he plays. And I think, he will gradually, again, you could say he's already playing well, but just a tiny bit more, you could say, adaptation is needed for him to be, again, up and running with full force in the Premier League. Morning, again, let me see anything else to address here. Just quickly, again, top performance from Zakaria. Again, it reminded me of John Mikel a bit more, you could say, a bit more powerful than Mikel, I could say, because Mikel is powerful too, but you could say, I don't want to start John again. I don't want to go that rabbit hole of trying to compare them both. I think I know who's better and who I think how I think they differ, but that's by the way. Anyway, again, good day, Supreme Court. It's nice to see you, and Giovanni Jaffa, nice to see you too.
So I'm going to come back to the panel immediately. I'm going to start with you. Since you jumped on, probably you had something you want to say. I want to come to you immediately. I'm doing well, Coach, again, and trust you're doing great. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. Is he gone? Tobago is gone already. Okay. That's by the way, anyway. Again, I'm going to go to IBZ. Bro, how are you doing again? I hope you're doing well. First of all, and what do you think about the game overall? We will get to review the match, looking at numbers one by one, and talking about the player performances.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Big up to you too, brother.
Yeah, man.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, live from the office. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yesterday
you
was a good
sound
performance.
like it.
Sorry, yesterday was a good
No worries,
performance.
brother.
You know what? I'm just happy that the player that I've been asking for to see started and he scored. I don't care whatever else happened in the match. It was just a beautiful thing to see Dennis Zakaria score, start, score, and play okay. He didn't play the best, obviously, because obviously he, he's probably his first start, a bit, not match fit, a bit rusty, and obviously, evidently, he came off injured. So it just goes to show that, we have a crisis at the club. And in terms of injury anyway, I know we need to sort out, but all in all, good performance. When we went down 1-0, my head did do a, oh, here we go again. But the response from Sterling, good goal, again, you know, just gave me hope that we won't be out of this. And to see Zakaria score was just like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if anyone's been hearing me, but like for the past probably since August, I've been asking Chelsea fans, why are we not seeing Zakaria? Why are we not seeing Zakaria? I want to see Zakaria. And everyone told me, oh, well, number one, he's not a Potter signing, and two, he's not good enough. I'm like, how can we judge this guy? Lo and behold, he made sense in the midfield and he got a goal to make us win the game. So I'm happy. I'm happy. We're qualified. Good performance. Sunday is the biggest one. It's the biggest one. So yeah, I'm happy with what I saw yesterday.
Yeah, overall a professional performance. It wasn't the best, but again, we got the job done. Especially Zakaria, he kept it simple. He kept the team thinking in the midfield area. A lot of ball recoveries from him, but we'll get to that in a bit. Again, what do you think, Tobago? Your thoughts? Again, I hope you're doing well. Your thoughts on the team's overall performance. We'll get into looking at the numbers and looking at players' performances individually. Are you there, Tobago? Can you hear me? Okay, it looks like Tobago is away from his phone. I'm going to catch up with what we have here, then we'll go look at again for the random topics we have lined up. Zakaria did well. It's been a while. We had a physical presence and height in midfield. I think he's earned some more game time with that performance, especially against the game against the Arsenal. We really need such presence. Otherwise, is it Pate? Is it Pate, right? The former Atletico Madrid player. Otherwise, he will smoke our midfield, really. Again, please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. Yes, people, please, again, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me see what else we have here. I am good. Again, I was just saying hello again. Zakaria did the basics, which is, again, if you're playing in that role, if you keep it simple, again, you'd really do well. And when the opportunity comes, when it's necessary, if you have to run with the ball, if you have to dribble, you do that. Did the basics, but he wasn't that good with all the hype. The midfield was still wide open. Arsenal would eat us up again. But even if you think that, I still think we'd do better with him in that midfield because of how Partey plays. Again, you can say he will muscle out every other midfielder we have. Without scoring, Aubameyang is still a threat. Yes, he played quite well. Again, had an assist, but I think plus that one that hit the woodwork, I think he did quite well overall. But I expected Broya to start that game because if he doesn't start that one, which of the games will he start then? But that's, by the way, we'll move. Roger, you have anything else to add, or should I go to the next, again, random topic?
No, that's fine. You're right, though. I really wanted Broya to start.
I wanted him to start. I don't know. Maybe if the plan is that he starts alongside again, maybe if the plan is that he starts against Arsenal, or maybe he gets to start alongside
I
again,
doubt
even
it.
Aubameyang against Arsenal, because I'm sure Aubameyang will most likely start against Arsenal, but I
Yeah.
don't know really how, again, Potter will explain that to Broya that then he's not going to start that game. I don't know if he's trying to play Aubameyang into form, given the
I think it
Arsenal
is,
game.
exactly. That's
Yes,
that's the only logical conclusion I can make.
yeah, I just don't understand because psychologically, you could say it would be a good psychological approach. Again, I don't know if that's the correct term to use for it. To play Aubameyang against Arsenal and say, okay, there you go, show them what they're missing. I know he doesn't have to put it that way, but to me, that's what comes to mind when Aubameyang gets to play, and it's the same manager that didn't want him at the club. But that's, by the way, quickly, Tobago. Hopefully, you fix your connection issue. I want to get on this again. Ask you your thoughts on the performance overall before we look at other random topics we'll have lined up. Then we can move on from there.
First of all, big up, guys.
Big up to you too, brother.
Yes, I hope you're all good. To be honest, Coach,
And thank you for
I'm
showing
so
your ID.
yes, I'm so happy. I'm so delighted. Finally, we saw Zakaria playing yesterday. And then I didn't care much about this game, but I just wanted Zakaria to play. And he played yesterday. And then there was a difference, a huge difference. Unfortunately, due to his match fitness, and then he couldn't last for 90 minutes and stuff. And again, like I said, I want to fight. I want to clarify something because our fan base, like, I like to complain about a lot of things. Yes, yesterday game was like a friendly game, but again, Coquerella played some games and then he was taken off, and then he played the previous game. Yesterday, Chilwell played, and unfortunately got an injury. But I saw some tweets saying they're blaming Graham Potter for a player's injury. Like,
no, it was always going to happen, even if it didn't happen yesterday. It's something that's in his body. It wasn't like Graham Potter pulled him and then just placed the injury on him. Go ahead.
Coach, in the second half, if you watch Chilwell, I enjoyed Chilwell. Second half, he was everywhere. He was linking up with everyone. Unfortunately, he got injured. I loved watching Chilwell in the second half because I saw the real Chilwell that we knew at Chelsea. So hopefully that injury is not bad, and then maybe can represent England for the World Cup. But again, we'll wait and see. Hopefully it's not that bad. So
it
overall,
doesn't look good,
yesterday,
really, from what the manager said, it doesn't look good. But go ahead.
Yes, overall, yesterday we played well. We just like finishing. That's the main issue at the moment. I pray our players need to work on finishing. I'm sorry, guys. Also, we need to work on what we need to do on the final third, because we had balls in order to cross them inside, but they were blocked and stuff. And then my boy Kanagalaga got a chance. He should have scored that. He didn't score it and stuff. So hopefully we can work on finishing.
It was a good save from the goalkeeper because he was too close. Even chipping it would be an issue. But go ahead again. He tried again. At least the positioning was excellent. He got at the end of those balls. Again, the other ones will come with time. But go ahead.
Yes. So overall, I enjoyed that game. And then, as I said, I wanted to see Zakaria playing, and he played yesterday. So I'm happy. Hopefully, he's fit for Arsenal game. And I'm not sure whether he'll start or not. But as a fan at the moment, I would like him to start.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what the manager does. Arsenal will be a much more, again, a tougher test, if you understand what I mean. With us scoring, Aubameyang still effective. Again, what I liked about Zakaria was, again, he passed the ball forward and fast every time there was an outlet for him. Yep, he wasn't slow. He was quick. Honestly, it's a good. I know people are calling for us to do away with Jorginho, but once Jorginho has protection, he's good. He's a good asset for the team. Which you need to have that balance. You need to have that complementary, style of play. One is as good as helping us keeping the ball. One can protect the defense and also, again, be more progressive for the ball than Jorginho is. But unfortunately, I don't know how long Jorginho stays at the club at this point. Again, big up, Kachila. I see you like my Insta post on my B-Day. How you well again? Is it? I missed it really. I wasn't paying attention. What weekend? I liked it because I saw it was you. Again, happy belated birthday if it has passed already. If I knew, again, if it hasn't happened, I can still make a short video on your behalf, bro. You know I love you, and I know how much you've supported the Chelsea Perspective community. Supreme Court says that I think Zakaria and Jorginho struck a decent balance, and that's actually the first time in a match again atmosphere. Of course, again, this is still Dinamo Zagreb. I'm not sure it will be again foolproof in the EPL. I think it will. I think it will. They just need to play one more game or two, and again, we'll have a blossom in the relationship in that midfield area. Big up again the panelists. Big up to you too, Dales CFC. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you, brother. Again, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Again, our injury issues are very concerning. It is the medical, the staff not doing enough. I don't think that's the case. We've changed. Well, a lot of changes. We've made a lot of changes to the medical team. So it's the body of the individual. And again, sometimes it takes time to, again, you can say, to find out, again, how to manage a particular player's fitness. It looks like Christian Pulisic
it's not just our team.
Exactly.
It's many teams.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, again, Christian Pulisic has found his. It's just something like that. It's now. It's. I don't think it's again is the medical team's fault. Yeah, again, Chilwell was very good yesterday, and now he's gonna be out when we need him. Again, we have Cucurella, and again, thank goodness we don't have too many games to play right now. We still have, again, it may only lead to us changing position if we need Cucurella and it's not available, changing structure, so to speak. But I think we're good. We have the same issue with injuries last season. Yep, Ben Chilwell and Reece James, both wing backs. Again, maybe like I think it was Roger that's talked about how stressful the wing back plays it can be to the players. Morning coach again, Chidi Dalo, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. He says Zakaria could be a secret weapon. I know it was Zagreb, but he looked excellent with Jorginho. Zagreb was good, really. They didn't come to defend. They played, and they had a couple of good chances. Zakaria lost position only 4 times. I don't want to count how many times he lost position, but he did well. Again, and misplaced only 1 pass out of 40 passes he attempted. Again, that is some crazy statistics for someone who hasn't played there in a while. I think, again, the first 10 minutes was rough for us, but as we got into the game, we got used to attacking, and the opposition, Zakaria and Jorginho, looked well. They good combo there from them. Let me see anything else to address here. Also, Havertz passing, especially in the first half, was excellent. I think he had an excellent game, but we'll talk about him in a bit. Seems like a lot of players need protection. J5, again, protects the defense, and J5 needs, again, someone to protect him. Left backs need protection. Maybe we should just try something again. Some security.
That's good.
Oh my goodness. and solve the problem one time, right? Get security officers and boom, with problem solved. Yeah. Again, I think Portable, it hasn't arrived. It hasn't. I think he's tried it. Probably he'll be cautious now. He shouldn't be drastic about it. Probably he tried it to show it against Brighton and it didn't work. He learned his lesson and will be cautious again with the implementation of his approach. We have to wait until we get again what he wants in the squad. I think if he trains with them enough, it will come naturally, but I don't want him to force it. Big up and just saying hello again. He says again, I think Porter should play the formation in the back four because we look more comfortable with the 4 just until Porter gets what he wants. Or do we have everybody fully fit? Again, 4 at the back is more secure. Less work for the center CBs to do. So yeah, again, it was a good idea. What's your thoughts on 3-man midfield Sunday? Kovac, Zakaria, and Jorginho? They did quite well, really. For me, I wouldn't change anything the way they played, but I'm not sure if that was really the structure. But we get into that in a bit. We've read this one. I don't know if you have anything else to add to it, Roger, or should we move on? Really?
Which one's that?
About the Mount comment. Should we just move on?
Oh, that comment. Yeah, I think we should move on. It's refreshing to see That it really is.
He's a humble guy, really.
Yeah, that's good parents. Well done.
Yeah, being truthful. Yeah. And here we have, let's see what else we have here again. João Santos again. That's Jorginho's agent saying, "I've never met Barcelona director Mateo Lemani. We want to extend Jorginho's contract with Chelsea. That is our priority. We are only dealing with them and no other club." As much as that sounds like the truth, I don't think he'd come out and say they're looking to move on. Because, Roger, I'm going to say this, and correct me if I'm wrong. If Jorginho leaves on a free, he gets sign-on fee, whatever club he joins, right? Plus, there's a chance he gets more money, especially if he's going to Italy, where they value, again, his role as a player, that what we call, again, the register role. Now, he has the right to start talking to other clubs in January. Now, it looks like Potter deems him as one of the most important players in his squad or in the current Chelsea team. But it won't be easy to keep him, really, even if the club wants to keep him, because what he'd be asking, I don't think we'll be able to give him that. Plus, he knows quite well if he lives on a free, he makes more money. I want to get your thoughts on that.
No, I mean, there's validity to what you're saying. However, I think maybe up front he gets more, but on a weekly or monthly basis, I think he would earn more in the Premier League. I'm not sure that most Italian clubs have the salary cap to do this. I think they're financially strapped more. I think.
So you're saying things from the perspective of, again, there are no clubs. You don't think any club would want to pay him that much money?
I don't think. I think most Italian clubs don't pay on a salary basis as highly as Premier Leagues do. However, I think you're right that on a free he would get more money up front initially, just on the bonus, signing bonus, however you want to term it.
But that's huge for them. Which you could argue that was why you could argue that was why Rudiger left. That was why Andres Christensen leave.
Yeah,
again,
exactly. The
big money they get from the sign-on fee left, so to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and obviously he is Italian. He's not exactly born in Luton, is he? So, I mean, I can see us.
He's Italian. Again, his citizenship is Italian. But I think whenever he's retired, he's going back to Brazil. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, but he lived there from the age of like 12 or something. He moved there at a very young age, so he has some affinity towards them. Do you understand? So it's his second home. But you know what, though? Maybe London is his third home. Maybe he really likes it. So who knows? And then Koulibaly is here, one of his best friends. It all depends. It's subjective for him, you know. I think as long as the money is competitive, and if he really wants to stay here, he'll stay. It's up to him. Only he will know that.
I have to say, as much as we understand that, we must recognize that he's, again, one of the most, again, he divides opinion the most in the Chelsea fan base.
Yeah, he is divisive. And, you know, as I said, I'm critical of him in many aspects, but equally so, you have to correspondingly and conversely say that he does bring a lot of positive attributes. As simple as that. You know, he's very. So he's a good passer of the ball, you know, he is. Does he pass too many times sideways and backwards? Yes, but that's because he's been instructed to do so. You can tell under Potter.
But do you know, most people don't understand sometimes that's what the manager wants from him.
Yeah, exactly. He's executing the role with which he's been instructed to perform. It's as simple.
And that's why every manager likes him and gets to play him and likes it again to feel himself. But go ahead.
Coach, he's playing completely different style now under Potter than he is under Tuchel or Lampard.
More vertical passes from him.
Lampard, he also was playing. Yes, and he's doing that under Potter now. You can tell. It's quite apparent. I mean, Ray Charles can see that. You can tell he's putting in a lot more first-time balls. So because he's been instructed to do so. That's no.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Go ahead if you're still saying something. Sorry.
Wow, the gods, they bleed. We agree. No, it's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, again, Supreme Court says, glad that Mount acknowledged that he wasn't the best in the match. A great humility and praise for teammates that again, that's actually again, even as we recognize that shows humility. To me, that also shows somebody who has leadership quality.
Yeah.
It's again, I don't think he's a selfish individual. That tells me that too. Again, great humility and praise for teammates. Again, would have been a nice if Jorginho did that against Salzburg. I get your point. Nobody thought Jorginho did well against Salzburg. But again, you could say Jorginho was the reason why we didn't lose as badly as we lost against Brighton at Salzburg, because at least we controlled the game, if you understand what I mean. Just 1 second, Roger. And this one here, this is again, Deals, again, they're talking to Deals here, so that's a conversation between the two people. Anyone watching Jorginho this season saying he passes backwards and sideways too much, doesn't know football. He has the most line-breaking passes for Chelsea this season. Brandon S. very well said, we're not saying that at all. But again, that's what, again, the argument from most Chelsea fans. They don't see the positives in the player. Yes. They don't compare. Exactly. Again, you can say how many times our players go through him to the mistakes he make. They just jump to the conclusion. They only judge him by his mistakes, and I don't think that's fair. Yeah, but that's probably why I hope, again, you make a good point there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the show. And if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we have to discuss here. Again, it all comes down to what Graham Potter wants. Mason Mount, I think we've read that one. Sorry for repeating it. And we have something else here. This is, again, Zakaria himself. He enjoyed himself. And it probably, again, on social media and seeing Chelsea fans calling for him to be given the chance. So here he says, again, I cannot tell you how happy I am about my debut and my first goal for Chelsea. Thank you so much for all the amazing support and your messages. And for everyone who's asking, I am fine and ready for the next mission. So why did he had to leave the pitch, though? So that, to me, that was concerning. I wasn't going to talk about it because I wasn't sure if it was anything serious. Why did he have to? He had to leave the pitch. Did you hear anything about that, Roger?
Who are we talking about?
Zakaria. That's him on the screen. I read what he said.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, he left on like the 70-something minute. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, he got a kick. So I saw in an interview that he's not hurt, but he got a contact.
More like a knock.
Leg. Yeah, a knock. There you go.
And again, at that point, I think the game was winding down. So yeah, it's also good to give Ruben Loftus-Cheek a run in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you. Again, that's really good to hear. I think he's loving life at Chelsea, and I hope again he stays on. It says again, I agree with you, Brandon. That's what it is. A J5 brings us something top teams need. Midfielders, again, it's not just about running, tackling, or power. Or again, or your build or everything, you have to organize. Organize is the language I'm looking for. You have to be able to control the game, organize the game, move again the hot spots, know when to slow things down. And no matter how everybody sees it, I know Roger will come at me. I'd still say that's one of the things we missed against Brighton. At least if we're going to play with just only 3 recognized defenders, we should be able to control the game, and we weren't able to do that against Brighton. And that was, you said, down to because him not being on the pitch. I'm not saying that was why we lost, but at least we didn't control the game. But that's, by the way, again, we move on. We've taken care of this one here. Something else I want us to look at here. Potter, again, even Potter was pleased with his performance. Potter says, Dennis Zakaria, he certainly did what we asked. He did everything he could, showed his quality, helped the team score a great goal. He was really good. You can see what he brings, the quality he has. He helped with enthusiasm. I love that, really. The manager loves, again, his performance. And again, maybe all he needed was just to take the whole thing slowly, not to rush him again. Maybe that made him work even harder than he should. What do you think, Roger?
Yes, I totally agree. May I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Can you reading through your crystal ball, do you think we keep him, or does he go back at the end of the year or even Christmas time?
Here's the thing. Given that argument, that if he plays, he's stuck between going back to Juventus and signing for Chelsea.
Yeah,
until after, again, I think after the season or so. But we'll get to that in a bit.
But do you think we keep him?
I don't know. It's just one game, really.
No, true. Very small sampling rate. But
yeah.
I was
Again,
impressed.
and he kept it simple. So again, if we see, let's say, if he plays against Arsenal and does quite well, then you could say that beneath to keep him. Even if we get someone else in January, we could say let's keep him. He's played with the team, trained, learned how the manager wants to game played and all that. And the manager is pleased with him, but there's no telling right now. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. Let's see what we see here again. Come on, people. Zakaria was average. Love the kid, but nothing at Chelsea level yet. Like I said, it's just one game, but he did well. He kept it simple, which when you play in that position, keeping it simple is important. But the ball recoveries was a lot. He did quite well, really, again, overall. Please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. Yes, people, we have 25 likes. We should be doing better than that. Let's try and get it to at least, 50 likes as soon as possible, and we can move on. Maybe this answers your question here. Let's say you can say the technical aspect of his stay at Chelsea and all that. It says Juventus won't be taking Zakaria back. So probably most likely Nizar Kinsella knows something. Maybe he has a good understanding of the contract. You can say the loan contract structure. Juventus won't be having Zakaria back, and he cannot go on loan to another club. So he is set to stay at Chelsea for the duration of the season, at least. So I don't know if that makes sense to you. Do you understand what we just read?
No, I get it. But I'm asking, do you think Potter wants him to stay at the club?
No, there's no way to tell. You can't. That's not, again, something to decide with just a game, like I said before.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him. I liked his physicality.
He could do a good job for us. Yeah.
Yes. And he seems to be somewhat clinical. You know, at least he got a shot on target. Most of our players can't even test the keeper, which I find incredulous.
Yeah, I have to say that was a fine finish. It wasn't about power; it was about placement too. Again, a bit of power to it, but it was about, again, finding space, and that, you can say, the box was crowded at that point.
It was. It actually hit two people to try to save it, and it still went through. I mean, you look at Zakaria in his placement with power, and yet then conversely you can say, let's look at Sterling. He had two other opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong, he took his goal very well, even though it wasn't exactly tight marking.
Mm-hmm.
But I still thought he did well, you know. But he had two other opportunities in the first 30 minutes that he could have had a hat trick had he been clinical.
Oh, you're talking about your cousin.
He's not. Yes.
We will get to him in a bit. I can't wait to talk about him, really. Like, what was that? If he can, you guys are so blessed that if he goes to World Cup,
shoot me.
What's his name? The manager should be asked a question on why he shouldn't even make it, really. But again, you could say based on his past glory, what he's achieved in the past, he probably makes it and probably gets to start too. That's how I see it. But
this season, be honest with you, if you can only pick players going to the World Cup based on this season, he's not even in the conversation.
No, he shouldn't be considered, really. I have to agree with you. But then
if you look at a huge, well, it's the main TV contractor, BT, and BT, the pundits, we're talking about Rio Ferdinand and Joe Cole, etc. They were talking about him, saying that I don't understand why people doubt him. He's week in, week out. He's great. I'm like, do you not watch him? Do you not watch him on a weekly basis? Do you not see what I'm seeing? I mean, they praise him to the hilt. I don't get it. Obviously, they're biased because he's English, but I just don't rate him. I never have.
Here's the thing. Before we signed him, there was a time I had an argument, again, not an argument, a good debate with Declan. When he was arguing, I asked him, is he capable of, again, creating chances, something to the effect of that? And
sure.
He says, yes, he's able to create his own chances and all that, but he hasn't really done that quite well at Chelsea. it just seemed to me as if his, again, a lack of technical ability, again, was masked by Man City's, again, a tendency or approach, you could say culture of keeping it simple in most cases.
You could put an average player in that squad and
it will still look good because in most cases they like to keep it simple. If anybody has to do anything with the ball, it's usually the front line guys. And Sterling didn't do that much for them, really.
They wouldn't have let him go otherwise, Coach.
Yeah, so maybe that masked his deficiencies. And again, we didn't see it quite well. But that's, by the way, I understand where that is coming from. Let's see what we have in the chat. Yes, people, if you're just coming in, please drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, has he shown us something exceptional? No, I wouldn't. Like I said, he didn't show anything exceptional, but he did well, really. Yesterday, that we need him again on we need him. We need our team again. Don't we think if we are playing again, if we're willing to give Zakaria a chance and invest in him, can we just promote the other Nigerian player? Who's that? Who's the other Nigerian player? I really don't know the player you're talking about. I'm serious. But again, if Zakaria plays against Arsenal and he does well, I think the club, again, may well decide to keep him. But I don't think he was exceptional yesterday. Like I said, he kept it simple. He got the job done. You could say he protected the defense quite well. And protected Jorginho too. What did I tell you? You said he was going to score, and then he scored. Again, Zakaria plays, and he scored. So, Kimso, how are you doing? More importantly, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I hope Tottenham gets eliminated. Again, trash team. I hope that to see their club fall like Vaca. Again, we'll see what happens. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, again, I appreciate that. Again, let's see. One second. I need to pin this comment because I like it. 1 second. I need to unpin this one first. But I like this one here about J5. It makes perfect sense.
By the way, Coach.
Yes.
You know, because of Benfica, because of the away goal difference, that means because we won our group, we now could face PSG.
Again, here's the thing. I think the bigger the team will face, the better we'll do, honestly.
I get it.
That's how I see it. I don't fear them. Honestly, I don't fear them.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't fear their front three? They're so clinical. I think we're fragile defensively currently. I think they would run amok against us. I fear them. But that's just my point of view.
Let's see what happens, really. Again, I hope, again, I've read that one too. I don't fear them, really, like I told you. Again, let's see anything else to address here. Zakaria can shoot, unlike J5. Again, J5 has what it does that I believe Zakaria cannot do. Based on what we saw yesterday, do you think Zakaria can handle the pace and intensity of the EPL? He showed, again, signs, but that's my only concern. I think he can. He's a quick player overall, and I knew that even before he joined Chelsea. And I'm just about that because I even did a video on why Chelsea, sorry. I don't want this to shut down right now. My other system is trying to update while I'm still using it. It says Zakaria can handle the pace and intensity. I think he can. Like I said, he's a player. Again, I've known him for a while. Then I even did a video with Michel, a Swiss journalist, where he talked about why Chelsea should sign him. I think, again, it's his time. He needs to play more matches. I think he'd do well for us. The Champions League is a good start for him. Did you see Mbappe's goal? Is that what scares you?
Yeah.
So that goal is what scares the heck out of you. I think we'll be fine. Just calm down. Mbappe would want a revenge because we rejected him. Well, let it happen, really. Let it happen. Again, let's see it. If we don't play against the big boys and do well, then we're not supposed to be getting anywhere close to them. Zakaria has a build of Fabinho, etc. Again, you could say, yeah, that build of what's the former Manchester City Ivory Coast guy, that build, and he's also good on the ball, really. But Roger, anything else you want to say before I go to Rodrigo and find out his thoughts and the team's overall performance? Sorry?
Were you talking about Yaya Toure?
Yaya Toure was the guy that came to mind. I think they have the same build. But yeah, you could say he's more technically gifted if you ask me.
Oh
But go
my
ahead.
gosh, what a player!
Yeah.
What a player! He was a true Rolls Royce. Wow, I could only wish that we had someone like that.
Yeah. Again, Rodrigo, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Rodrigo.
Oh, good. Yeah. I know we won yesterday. Everyone is happy, but yeah, it was a good game. I end up watching the whole game. I didn't watch the other games because it was a back four.
So, where have you placed your panic bus keys?
Oh, my panic bus only comes in the transfer window.
That's when he drives it.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. No, I don't.
He cannot be a driver now because he's everywhere and he's just going to run people into the bush. But Rodrigo,
oh, that's funny.
Rodrigo, your thoughts on the performance overall? Again, after that, we're going to looking at the individual performances and the numbers also.
Yeah, I think the game was all right. You could say the intensity wasn't as high from us. You could see when we conceded that goal again, Mendy, right? If that was Kepa, would have saved that.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's just say hypothetically, we're saying because Mendy, Kepa wasn't there, but again, I think he could have come out actually if he read the game well. But go ahead.
Actually, I don't blame Mendy. I think it's Koulibaly. Koulibaly anticipated that the attacker would win the ball and will go to the far post. So Koulibaly ran to the far post to protect the keeper. Maybe it was anticipated the keeper to go collect the ball because you saw the movement. He ran to the far post. When he realized Mendy didn't come after the ball.
Gentlemen, it's simple as this. Chile shouldn't have allowed the cross in the first place. He wasn't tight to the player, as always. That's the honest truth. But
once the cross happened, if you look at the movement of Koulibaly, he ran first to the back to the post, and then he realized the keeper wasn't coming to collect it. So he went and attacked the striker, but that was too late. At that point, the striker had already had momentum on him, so he couldn't win the header. So that was that. But again, our intensity wasn't as high. Understandable. I mean, it was like a friendly game. But after that, I felt like we up our intensity. We control. It's one of those games. It was 2-1, and I didn't think Zagreb would score. You know, some games it's 2-1, and you're scared. You think like, oh, Chelsea might concede. I didn't have that feeling at all. I just knew we will win the game. We just have to take our chances. I didn't think like we will regret not taking chances. If that makes sense. I didn't feel that way. I felt like we controlled them from start to finish.
No, when we considered, I was pissed. But Bobby was on Watch Along show, and he said again, we're still gonna tear them apart. If we can take a chances again, we can beat them.
Yeah. Overall, it was good. It was a good, and then, again, 4-2-3-1 is the way forward. And I can see why you like that formation. I feel like it gave us a good platform both in attack and defense.
But it was a front three. It was a front three. It was a 4-3-3.
Was that really what it was? Okay, there's no telling what the structure was actually. But go ahead, Rodrigo.
I saw Havertz playing as a 10.
He played the 10 role.
Yeah, and Aubameyang was attacking from the left, but coming in, and then Sterling from the right, and then Sterling was actually everywhere. He wasn't pinpoint to one specific position, but mostly he started from the right, and then sometimes he was on the left. But
Mount was in the midfield mostly.
Yeah. Mostly, yeah. Mount was in the midfield mostly, yeah. And it was. And then Zakaria at times at the start of the game, I saw him pushing high. I thought, okay, was interesting. And then as the game went on, you could see he was more disciplined. Sometimes it was even covering for the centre back at times. So it was a good game to watch. Even though I still think we should have played a weakest team. We should have played some other players, but that's the team. It's a team that he put out there to win the game, and it was good.
It was a good game. Again, let me catch up with what we have in the channel. We'll start looking at the players again, one by one. Again, Zakaria again has a beauty. Again, I've read that before. Mount was awful yesterday. Does he really get him out of the match just for running around? Again, our standards are that low. That's a question you have to send to what's his name, UEFA, because he got the UEFA Man of the Match, didn't he?
Wow,
it
he's
wasn't
that divisive, huh?
So you should. The player
Wow.
himself recognized that he recognized he shouldn't have won it. He doesn't think again he deserved it. But again, I get your question. He ran around. He did a good enough job, but I don't think he deserved to win Man of the Match. If you're asking me, Aubameyang assist again. Yeah, he did well. I would rather meet the big boys now and get eliminated than meeting one in the final and losing. Again, losing the final would hurt quite a lot. But more money then to the club again. Again, the further you go into the competition, the more money you get. If Jorginho can play in the EPL, then Zakaria can definitely play. That's a good way to see it, really. Pace and strength is something he actually also ball recovery. Yeah, those things are common. Like, is it common, coach? You were born in Nigeria or not? I am born in Nigeria, an Igbo boy to be precise. Grew up in the north, so. Grew up in 3 Nigerian states before I moved to the United States. So, yeah. But here's the thing. I thought you were talking about an academy player. So, Chukwuemeka, again, for that particular game, he wasn't ready. He trained separately the day before the game. So something is wrong that we don't know. So he wasn't on the bench, actually. Yeah, maybe if you're talking about him getting a chance to play, even against Arsenal, I wouldn't mind him starting because he can offer more than Raheem Sterling, really. From what I've seen. I'm Niger born, so yeah. Chukwuemeka will get his chance. True talk on the intensity, Rodrigo, some credit for you. We need different kinds of players for intensity. The players we have don't have that. You can say majority of them don't. They're used to slowing the game down, or maybe it all comes down to how the recent managers we've had at the club, how they like to play. So they've gotten used to playing that way for a long time, and then it would take time for them to adapt to playing quicker. If Ruben Loftus-Cheek starts over Zakaria after his Champions League performance, we need to give Potter again a shake. I'm not going to go to the length of saying that. We'll see again. Good for again. Zakaria is not 100% match fit, bro. I don't think he is. Yep. Again, Jorginho Zakaria deserves Man of the Match.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, the two of them. And even Mason Mount recognized that. And for him to have said that his teammates have been again battering him for winning it how many times now, and he thinks he doesn't deserve this one, really.
They watch your show.
Maybe, and other shows again where people or then followed social media where other people think he doesn't deserve it. But we'll see. Jorginho played more forward passes. Again, that's always been the case since Graham Potter took over. He's been more progressive. Doesn't opt for the safer options, going sideways or backwards. He's done quite well, really. Again, on the Graham Potter, more progressive passes. You can say could have had more assists than just the number he has right now. Let me start with you, Potter. Mendy's performance yesterday. Did you see improvements? Do you think it still looks again when he's on the ball? I think he takes too much time to decide what to do with it. Still, I don't think that has changed.
Who are you talking to?
No, you, Roger. I'm asking you about Mendy.
Yeah,
no worries.
I thought he played well, sir. I thought he played well. I thought his distribution was excellent. Yeah, there's a couple of times where he could have made a first pass without a first
or release the ball quicker.
Yeah, just listen. He only played like one half against Brighton, so it takes time to get into match fitness psychologically, cerebrally.
Because the match is a different atmosphere altogether.
Yeah, you can't really duplicate it in practice, so it's going to take him a couple of games to get into that. In fact, Kepa alluded to that when he was being interviewed after his second or third or fourth game. He was saying that it takes so many games for you to actually get into match fitness. So, you can't be too critical of him. I thought he had a solid game.
The only complaint I have, again, like I said before, this is not me saying he's a bad goalkeeper. He's actually well equipped to do better than Kepa Batunde, given his height.
Yes, he is. Yes,
he should be making a lot of high claims, and had he read that game very well, usually when you have your defender cover the line, then you can actually go out for the ball, because if you can unsettle the opposition who's trying to nut the ball, then they won't get too much power on it that those guys on the line won't stop it. Had he read the game very well, I think he could have come out to claim it. But he's usually reluctant to come off his line. Really.
Yeah, it's true. He plays a lot deeper than Kepa does. But he did come out. If you notice, he did.
No,
on
occasions he did. He did on occasions, yeah.
But this is not his MO primarily. But I like him. They're two completely different styles of keeper, not just physically, but just in stylistically speaking. But I think we're blessed to have these two, I think, formidable shot stoppers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, really, again, given the errors he's made when playing out from the back, I think everybody will have to take, again, hypertension medicine whenever he's between the sticks before you watch games.
That's
yeah, but you understand what I mean by that. People always go, whoa, what is it doing?
It scares me.
I'm less confident with him on the ball than I am Kepa. Kepa, don't forget, and that's because Kepa is a product of his environment. Because of in Spain, the Spanish goalkeepers inherently don't practice as goalkeepers when they have training. They practice with their outfielders, and then when everyone else goes inside, then they practice their goalkeeping regiments. So that's why they're far more technical, the average Spanish keeper, than most other countries.
Yeah. Rodrigo, let me catch up with again, Chatty. I'll come back to you in a bit. This is a conversation between two people. And Thomas Bays says, should we be countering teams against Arsenal? Again, can our defense hold up? I think our defense can hold up. I think if we start against Arsenal with the combo of Koulibaly and what's his name? I think probably to accommodate Chalobah, we may have to go to it again. If we're going to play with 4 at the back, I don't think we'll see Koulibaly and Silva start. For 2 of them to start together, because I see Potter, he would always want to accommodate Chalobah to have balance.
We're gonna play back 3 against Arsenal.
Yeah, so probably it's more likely we're gonna play with the back 3 to accommodate the 3 of them.
Sure,
because they have 3 of them again to accommodate. With the back 4, and one of them has to drop out. And most likely in the back 4, as I'm seeing, will be Koulibaly right now because he's just returning. Plus, Silva has rested. At least that's what I think, really.
Coach, in the future, would you have a problem with in a back 4 with Koulibaly and Silva playing together? I wouldn't. I would welcome it.
Yeah, it will be a welcome development. That is, if we have again, do we have a traditional left back right now? Not really.
Cucurella.
Is he?
Cucurella is the left back. That's his original position.
Oh, I thought he was left centre back and left wing back position.
No. He's a left back. He's a left back. He's not.
But here's the thing. My main concern is again accommodating what's his name? Accommodating Chalobah is what creates the problem.
No,
because we need balance, and which means we have to accommodate him no matter the structure. It's as simple as that. That's where I'm coming from.
I don't think Chalobah needs accommodation. Chalobah is fine. Chalobah can play in the back 4 in the back. It's Silva that you need to accommodate because of pace. Because you need to look at your position, and because Silva, I know he plays in the back 4, but he's primarily he's even better in the back 3. So I don't think Chalobah has an issue. I think it's Thiago Silva really.
No. Here's what I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
No.
If we're looking at this again, this structure here, Chalobah provides balance. If we have Koulibaly and Silva with half the 2 most experienced, you could say 2 of the most experienced defenders centrally, which is awesome, but we would lack balance heavily, given that the only guy that can start here at this point is Azpilicueta. So this one, you'd have 1, 2, 3 aging players in Azpilicueta, Silva, and Koulibaly. So I think no matter what happens, no matter the structure, 4 at the back, 3 at the back, the manager, again, Potter will always look to accommodate Chalobah to have proper balance, which means it will be difficult to see Koulibaly and again and who start together and Silva start together. You get my point now.
Yeah, you can do that if you have Rich James, I guess, as a
Yeah,
right
exactly. But right now you can't really.
back. You can, yeah.
It's difficult. If
Or
he
you can
does
play
it, it
Chalobah as
becomes
a right
a
back.
big risk.
I'd rather play Chalobah as a right back, especially against Martinelli. I'll play Chalobah as a right back. And then it'll be like a very defensive right back. I don't mind if he doesn't give
Wow,
us...
really? Yeah, that's a real difference.
That's a chance he can. Do you think he
Because
can play that role?
Yes.
I've watched Martinelli. He's a danger man. Martinelli is he's gonna give us a tough time.
But I don't see the coach doing that though. But I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Thomas Bays for that good question. And we're going to move on to it because we're still reviewing the match. Maybe again during the preview show we'll talk about it and even in details. Here again, Limitless says that we should just accept Mendy can now play out from the back. I think he can. He lost. Something went wrong. Again, I think we don't give him enough credit again as to that measure how well he can actually do with his feet. But does he come close to Kepa in that aspect? No, totally not. Again, I hope we don't do lots of that this weekend. And Bobby was going, please don't pass it to him. Stop giving it to him.
Is Kepa back this Sunday?
No.
It sounds like, from what we heard, it sounds like he's going to miss the Arsenal game, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, I am better than Mendy on the ball, you think, really. Oh, my goodness. But there's something Rodrigo said yesterday that I didn't really like. And Josh Viola in the chat confirmed that was exactly what happened, really. He confirmed that when Mendy was asked about something he has to work on his something to the effect of, again, if he has to work on his distribution, and he said, no, he doesn't. He doesn't think so. To me, that's arrogance. Blatant arrogance. Even again, there are better way to answer such question. To me, he doesn't accept he has any work to do, and that's seriously dangerous. But that's by the way. Let me see what else we have here.
Too loud. Who's breathing?
I don't know.
Sorry?
It's not me.
Someone is breathing very loudly.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Breathing?
Yeah, like the under duvet or something.
That's not me. Maybe something is returning sound and it's whistling in the air or something. Again, I don't have a fan on here. We will play three at the back again. At the best, to be honest, your ID. Thanks for showing your ID again. I wasn't happy with Mendy for the goal. I thought, he should have come out for the cross. Again, he should have read it. The moment he went wide and Koulibaly was on the line, he should have come out to claim it. He's taller than everybody on the pitch. And again, high claims it should be his thing, but he doesn't do it enough. Question for the panel: Chalobah shown enough for you guys to say that Fofana was not needed? I wouldn't say Fofana wasn't needed. He was like 17 million. He just shown that's good enough. He just shown that Fofana, you can say, they can. You remember they can actually play together.
Yeah, exactly.
Chalobah has gradually, again, shown he can lead centrally. He's become more mature with his displays. His displays are becoming more mature. He's not too much in a rush to make decisions. Again, we started seeing less and less of those mistakes he made last season. That most Chelsea fans, you could say some that don't understand football that much, started calling for the club to sell him. They can play together. He can start playing centrally, and then with a three at the back formation, and two of them can actually play centrally. But right now, I'm happy we have them both. Like if had Fofana been fit, Chalobah shouldn't be playing this much games because it's a risk. Really, it's a risk, especially now that you can say the fixtures are condensed. They're coming in thick and fast. But and had he been played, let's say if he was playing for another club, would be willing to pay up to 80 million for him to give him how well he's done. If we have a good midfield, Koulibaly and Silva will be okay. I don't want to risk it. We need balance. And also, if Zakaria plays, I think a back four is fine. If he plays, yes, again, Chalobah has more legs than Aspie. That's the truth. But I haven't seen him play in the right back position, but I think he can actually play it there. Graham Potter wouldn't want to lose against Arsenal. He understands the magnitude, the size of that game, in terms of from a derby perspective, from the rivalry perspective, and all that. He has to win that one or get at least again even a draw. If people start complaining too, Fans are so tapped. They think a player that played one game in the midfield, we desperately needed him. But he showed he can get the job done for us. That's just the main point here. What do you think about Sterling performance? We will get to him in a bit. Don't worry. I will serve you that food that you're asking for. Why can't Chalobah play right back again with Silva and Koulibaly as central and Cuckoo as left back? Again, speciality matters. If we play with 4 at the back system, as awful as Aspilicueta was against Zagreb, I think it'd still start. But we'll see. I'd give him a shot there. I'd really give him a shot there. And let's see. Farman Rahman says, our medical department must be sacked. Wow. Already had enough, again, with all those injuries. We've changed them already. We practically have a new medical team on the ground, Potter. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. We brought in someone actually is working with them on an expectorate measure, or if that means anything to you. What do you think, again, the score would be on the weekend? We will talk about that in a bit. Just stay tuned. Fofana was needed, Kami, because, again, if Chalobah was not available, then that means Fofana would have been playing. We need a huge squad. We need them both, really. Who else is injured? Who was that got injured, really? It was what's his name? Chilwell. Ben Chilwell again. What's his name? Zakaria said he's fine. Again, the disrespect Chalobah has to go through. This fan base is crazy. Chalobah is, in my opinion, a better defender and ball passer than Fofana. I guess you could argue that.
You don't have to compare our players. Come on.
And we don't have to compare them, really. They're both good players. Yeah, that's a good argument there.
I think they're equal.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say equal. They have complementary skills.
Exactly.
You could say what's his name? You could say Fofana is a better ball carrier.
I would love to have them in a back four.
Yeah, they both can do well for us. Again, if we lose against
that's
Arsenal,
our future, gentlemen. That's our future you're looking at.
Yeah.
If we lose against Arsenal, I am dead, man. Again, the next day I have school.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious, really. I'm not sorry to hear that. I want to hear your story very well. Medical department now, we've changed them practically, all of them. Why are you still complaining?
It's our team. It's
Rodrigo, your thoughts on Mendy between the sticks. How well did you think he did? And while we have it, please, if you're coming in, take a second to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. So, Rodrigo, your thoughts on Mendy's performance yesterday?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I wasn't massively impressed or disappointed because Mendy, we know his deficiency. I blame him for the goal. 100% is his fault. Because obviously, you say Chilwell could have blocked the cross, fair enough. But once the cross has been made, he should have. Kepa, as much as we blame him or Kepa doesn't, but Kepa, what he does is he's brave. He comes in, he'll try to punch the ball. He might miss it, but at least he'll do that. But I feel like even on some corners, I felt like Mendy wasn't coming to dominate the area. Maybe it's just his first game back, so he still hasn't gone back to the level that he showed us. Before. So I felt like he wasn't, I don't know, maybe I was too critical. So I was watching him with a different eye. So every little thing I was picking up on. So
Are
maybe
you talking about the first cross?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the ball came in? You're talking about not you're talking about the ball where it was headed onto Aspi. You're talking about that when the cross is driven in, you're saying that he should have when I say you're talking about Mendy should have actually either punched it or caught it. I see your point.
Yes.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was.
Should have at least I would say punch it. Even for the goal, he should have come in. I felt like yesterday he wasn't.
He should have again. If you read the game well, like I tried to say before, when the ball went wide before he was nodded again, sent back into the box for the guy that finished it.
Ready.
If you read it well, he should be out, and again, he should be able to stop it. But go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, and I also felt like throughout the game, there was instances, even on corners, I felt like he wasn't dominating the area, his area, as much as he used to do in the past. Because in the past, Mendy used to be very good at coming and collecting crosses and collecting corners. But I feel like yesterday, there was still something to work on. Even in his distribution is his distribution. Mendy will always give me heart attack whenever he has the ball to his feet. or whenever the defender passed the ball back to him. And so overall, I think he's not back to he's not back yet. He's not back yet. We need to give him now.
And we need to see improvement, really.
We need to see improvement. And if his attitude, if it's true, whatever that I've read, that's his attitude, that he doesn't think he need to improve on his footwork, then that's not really good to hear, is it?
That's when I'm gonna say let's sell him, really. But I want to get again. Unfortunately, fortunately, we have Kepa Arrizabalaga's brother here. His twin brother, if you like, Matt Zivo from Zivo YouTube channel. He's approaching 1,000 subscribers, and I think we should actually go and subscribe to his channel to help him reach that number as soon as possible. He again produces great content, so he deserves 1,000 subscribers. He will get the chance to share the link to his channel in a bit. And I'll share the link to my brother's channel, Ty Talks, who's not here. He's very busy, school and everything. But he actually did release a very good video today. I haven't watched it, but I know it will probably be good. I'll share the link to his channel. I hope I don't forget, so we can help him reach 1,000 too. We grow together here. Matt, your thoughts, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Your thoughts on all the overall performance. Then we're at Mendy at this point, and I really want you to talk about him.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big up to you too, brother. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. And remember, we have a collab planned out, but probably we're all busy. We haven't talked about it in a while. But go ahead.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that going soon. I mean, now I've just pretty much just finished my last exam, so now I'm on holidays, which is good. So now I've got a lot of time. But
awesome.
Yeah, this performance, I was, I wasn't really, excited when we finished the game. I wasn't really upset. I thought it was just an average performance. Nothing really to win or lose here. Just get a win. That's it. But on Mendy, it's what I've been saying for nearly a year now. Like, it's nothing new. I'm not going to criticize Mendy because that's what I expect from Mendy. That first goal, I don't think he could have done anything better because I know he can't do anything better. Like that's what I've been saying on Mendy. He doesn't have good reflexes. And I've always said that this guy is not a professional footballer. And that quote that he said, that sums up my examples clearly. And he comes in and he goes, "Oh no, I don't really want to learn how to kick." That's just embarrassing. I don't want that in my class. I don't want someone who doesn't want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you can leave. Like, there's the door, and that's an embarrassment to our name. I really hope Graham Potter gets rid of him because it's just unacceptable to not want to learn. And we know his footwork's rubbish. He should know his footwork's rubbish. He came on last week.
And if it doesn't accept that, then that's a problem.
It is. It is a problem.
May I ask a question? Because we haven't actually heard him. Could it have been? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Could it have been taken?
He actually said that.
Yeah, but what was the question?
Okay, go ahead, Rodrigo. You explain. Then Matt can come back in quickly.
We don't know what context.
I think I read
That's
it on.
all I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
It was on Niza. I think it was on Niza tweet. I think when they went on a US tour, they were talking about. That's actually ages ago. They were talking because the thing was coming to now he's rejected his country. He's rejected the first negotiation, and then as part of that, I think they asked him if he thinks he needs to improve on his footwork, and he said no. Let me actually find. I think it was Niza Cancelo.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody would say that and just really confirmed he actually said it. So go ahead, Matt. That's dangerous if he said it, really.
It was Matt Law.
Yeah, but what context, gentlemen?
Matt Law. Oh, sorry. It's Matt Law.
What's the question again, Rodrigo?
It was if his distribution needs improvement and he snapped back.
Yeah, exactly. If his distribution needs improvement. And I don't blame him because Thomas Tuchel already handled the selection of the goalkeepers badly. He probably thinking he's the best in the world then.
Yeah, because he has an ego.
But go ahead, Matt.
He has an ego, and you can say context. I mean, maybe the context is that he just doesn't want to learn. Like,
context
he's
is
just
important.
I mean, yeah. Well, the context is they asked the question. He snapped back, saying, "No, now." Can we believe it? Can we not? Well, it's a report. I'm going to probably believe it because
he could have said it jesting.
Well, I guess as you said, we players unfortunately don't come out and say what or back up their statements that I'll only if it's a really bad one. I don't think he's going to come out and say anything. But I believe this because I said months ago that this guy's not a professional footballer. Like he's a natural talent footballer. I remember when me and Coach did our player profile Mendy, and when I was researching him, I looked up that he only started his professional career like 24. right? So he doesn't have a professional young career. And that's a very important career.
Matt,
Background.
there could be a little bit of bias in there, wouldn't it? Since you're pretty much a Kepa #1 fan, isn't it?
No, Kepa's twin brother. What
Well,
are you
it could
saying?
be.
Is it because he's not on camera?
Take that bias away, bro.
Well, it's not bias. I'm just reading a report.
Because
Matt is being factual, really. But go ahead, Matt.
No, it's the venom. The way he attacks him, I think he's a bit.
I've never really attacked him. I've just said his truth, and now his truth is coming to light. I've said he can't play with the ball. When he can't play with the ball, I said he's not a professional athlete. He comes out and he says he doesn't want to improve his footwork. Like, everything I'm saying is becoming true. So next big thing is his reflexes, and yesterday kind of showed that once again. Like I'll keep Mendy as the same.
Wait, Matt, are you kicking me out? Matt, are you kicking me out from the gang that have always said he has an issue? Wouldn't let the gang really. But go ahead.
Me, coach.
I'm just kidding. Just go ahead, brother.
There's a lot of people, but no, I don't think this guy says. I would sell him because it's just that mentality. I don't like that mentality. Like, for me, this what do they call him? Mickey the Ghost Mount. Like, that's a guy who needs to leave for me as well. Like, these players are not Chelsea level. I tweeted a couple of days ago, Coach. I don't know. I think you saw it, where I said there was about 11 players I mentioned. I said these guys are not Chelsea level, and Mendy's one of them. Mendy's a player for me who I just don't think is our quality standards. I think Kepa, we're seeing a new arc on him. His future will dictate within the next 6 months. But Mendy, we've seen this guy, right? We've seen what he can do. He's been great, but he's losing that confidence. Can he get that back? I'm not sure. I don't see him playing in a style that we play, though. I see him maybe going bowling out.
He was very good, though.
Yeah, but now we're in a new era, and a new era is playing more with the feet. And you could see yesterday he only had 22 passes. Compare that to a Kepa who has 38, sometimes 40 passes. Like, so they realize that they can't play back when they have Mendy goals. That they know they can't, because the guy came on last game and already gave it away with his first kick. Like, he just can't play in our system. And I've always said, if you can't fit our system, you don't fit the jersey. Just go to Lille, ball out there, get a contract extension, but not at Chelsea, man. He doesn't fit our play style. He can't kick a ball. I don't want a keeper who can't kick a ball. I'm sorry.
I listen. I don't think he's as bad as other keepers I've seen. I think he's average technically with the ball at his feet. Shall we use this terminology? I still rate him as a keeper. I think his upside, his potential is still great.
But go ahead.
Listen, you have people like Shaka Hislop, if you ever follow him, who's a former keeper. He rates him highly.
Something went off.
And this is a
something went off. And I think it was all Thomas Tuchel's fault. Had he handled it correctly, Mendy will still be again in a very good form. I hope he is, because we need him right now.
Tuchel's fault. What do you mean Tuchel's fault? It's
to a certain measure. When he there was a time when he was averaging those mistakes we talked about. Benching him would have been good for him.
But
then he would learn he has something to work on. But the way Tuchel handled it, even he subconsciously would think he has nothing to worry about. And probably that was what led to the comment he made during that interview in question. But go ahead, Matt, so we can move on from Mendy, really.
I don't disagree, but it was also Czech who was telling Earring to Tuchel not to drop Mendy, so there was something there. And that's what I think, and that's one thing I really criticize Tuchel, why he was listening to Czech there, because I don't know who Czech thinks he is. Like, the guy brought in Mendy. I think he wanted Mendy to succeed, to say, oh, look, I brought this player in like he did at the UCL. Czech was taking all the credit, but I don't know. I think you're right. It was Tuchel. Now Potters came in. We have a new keeper. Just let's hope his injury isn't concerning.
Yeah, let me catch up with the side. Let's move on to other players. Let me see what they have to say. Again, Todd Mendy still seemed a bit shaky. I have my concerns. Again, you can say it's easy to think that way, given, again, past experience. He did a good enough job, and I think he should have, again, done better in terms of that goal he considered. Again, he's not perfect. He's a human being, and that mistake, again, yeah. But that's, by the way, I will cut Mendy a slack. Again, he's been frozen for so long. There's a tendency for a little bit of, again, rustiness. That's just the fact there. Let's see, again, I hope he does well against Arsenal, because we're going to need him. Haaland, I'm not sure in what contest. I wasn't paying attention. Kim So-in, again, if you want, this is a conversation between the guys there. Let me see. Mendy cost us at the game against Madrid. There are games also, again, if we're being honest, there are games also Kepa cost us, but we're talking about his form before, again, and you could say because the injury was the only reason why Thomas Tuchel looked beyond him, really. And thank goodness we still had Kepa in our ranks. Otherwise, would have been in serious trouble because he nearly left the club. If we believe what we read, and again, what was in the media. Again, I've read that one too. Let me see anything else to talk about here. If not, I'll just move to the very bottom of the comments, because if I keep reading, the comments are the only things we end up reading. Again, Kepa's wife, again, in the building. Ouch, Matt, that one is at you. I know you know, but I know you can take a joke, brother. Good morning to you to Jump Out Entertainment. Yeah, I get it. Again, here is the link to Ty Talks YouTube channel. Is approaching again. I think it's fine. Again, we should help him reach 1,000 subscribers, so to speak. Good content from him. Again, he doesn't have too much time to producing too many, but the quality is there. Each one that comes out, believe me, is high quality. He knows what he's talking about. You have to go check Ty Talks YouTube channel. And Kami, thank you for sharing the link. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent it. Let him know we support him. Let him concentrate on his education. When time allowed, he will release more videos. But he released one new one today. I think you should see it. It is the profile of Andres. Again, Leandro Trossard. You need to go see it again, guys. Again, be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for sharing that link. Let me see anything else to address here. It says, guys, again, vote Kepa for again. Okay, thank you for that. We will do that. A great debut about Dennis. Yep, it was a fine one. We'll talk about that in a bit. But everyone is gonna kill Haaland again. Again, I hate him so much because he's not playing for us and he's scoring. Mendy bashing, and that's called confidence. Nothing to see there.
It's not confidence. It's not confidence if you could never kick a ball. He could never do it in the first place. We know that.
Here's the thing, Matt, I know you and I, we were the ones that called again for Mendy to drop, but I have to say, honestly, we give Mendy, again, we don't give him enough credit. Again, he can actually do well with his feet. He's not exceptional at it. Kepa is better at it, but I wouldn't say he's bad with his feet, really.
He's rubbish. Coach, he's probably the worst in the league. The guy can't kick a ball.
Really?
I'm being serious. The guy cannot kick a ball. Do we not see the way he just fumbles and he can't work under? And it comes back to my point. He's not a professional athlete. He can't work under pressure. When you hear the crowd screaming every time he has the ball, he fucks it up every single time after that. He doesn't know how to kick a ball, coach. He doesn't have the mentality. He doesn't have the physicality for it. The guy can't do it. He can make saves, but he can't kick a ball to save his life.
Okay, so would you say he's worse than Nick Pope with the ball at his feet?
No, I'd say he's better than Nick Pope, really.
Nick Pope?
Exactly.
They're both
better than Nick Pope.
It's like trash versus garbage. Like, they're both rubbish on their feet.
What about Arsenal's keeper?
But that's why he plays for Burnley.
What about Arsenal's keeper?
Ramsdale's not that worse on his feet.
Are you kidding me? Did you watch him versus England a couple of months
I don't
ago?
watch him for England.
Oh my God, he's pathetic.
No, Ramsdale is better than Mendy. Way better than Mendy.
With his feet?
Yeah.
All right. Again, let's go. We have other players.
I beg to differ.
I mean, yeah, we can. We
have other players to look at, please, guys. If we stay on Mendy topic, we're not going to end it again. Mendy might be sold again because he doesn't want the offer Chelsea proposed to him. And if Graham Potter prefers starting Kepa over Mendy, then he will most likely leave. And hopefully he finds a club where he gets to play again. I will see the best of him. Kim, so again, let me see anything else again. Kepa also has an ego. You said there's hardly any human being that doesn't have one, but it's only how you show it. Remember when Sarri tried to sub him again, stop speaking in a vacuum while intentionally avoiding context. It is again disingenuous.
Here's the thing, Coach. Coach, if that was Mount, if that was Johan Minrus Mount doing that, everyone would be praising him. It's embarrassing. Right? I said that every player has a right not to come off. It's the manager's consequence that dictates it. Sarri didn't want to sub him off. Kepa had the confidence. He wanted to stay. The player has every right to do so. If that was Mason Mount, everyone would be clapping. So it's just double standards in football clubs. So I think Kepa did all right because, the player has every right to stay on that pitch. It's up to the manager to dictate the consequence. And he was gone for a game. So that's gone.
Here's the thing from Sam Jovi. He says, Mendy, that was European and African keeper of the year. It's not Chelsea level. what is this guy talking again? To me, my argument is based on his current form, but Matt has every right to express his opinion. That's it, and that's why we're here again to debate and come to sensible conclusion.
This was in 2021. They got it's like since
to me,
African Keeper of the Year is not really that difficult, is it?
Well, really? Now you're insulting the continent, really.
Who else was it?
Really, Rodrigo? I wouldn't go that far, really. To again, if that's not good, how do I not? I wouldn't say yardstick. Well, that's not a good way to judge it. It's even harder there, man. If you want to. Oh, Rodrigo, I can't believe you said that. Come on again, Matt. And Mendy playing in our team. The man who won us the Champions League. The entire contract renewal got to his head. Again, Chelsea cannot rely
won us the Champions
on
League.
Kepa. Again, we need two good goalkeepers.
What's this won us the league? Werner won us the league and he sold.
If we're able to sort out his contract, that'd be good because he's a good goalkeeper. But again, I want that mentality of accepting if something is wrong, you accept it's wrong, then work on it. The 50% of solving a problem is again accepting that a problem exists. Is Kante still again a Chelsea player? I'm not going to get into that right now. We have a match to review, and again, we'll have to move on so we get it done as quickly as possible. And I think, did I miss anybody again? Hi again, Josephine. Nice to see you, Queen of the Hearts. Thank you so much for finding the time to participate. I appreciate that. It's Kami again. Shares the link to Z Voice YouTube channel. That's Matt's YouTube channel. Please take some time, go check it out, and make sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. We need to help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Yes, people, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. It's again, Supreme Court says the funny thing about this issue of footwork is that Kepa's footwork cost us to concede versus Liverpool in 2020-2021. Also, again, the ball playing errors 19-20 like Man City. But again, carry on with the with the slander, and I read it with so much emphasis and energy. It sounds like it's as if I'm the one fighting Matt, but I understand the argument right there. Again, nobody's perfect. I believe, like I said before, Mendy is actually equipped to do better than Kepa Arrizabalaga, but he has to accept that he needs to improve. It's as simple as that. Kepa has come back. He's shown some improvement. He's able to command his area better than usual. Mendy would do good for us. We need to keep on board if possible. But that's why I'm going to move on now and see. Let's look at, again, Ben Chilwell. I'm going to start with you, Roger. He had a good game defensively, really. Again, we saw some good interplays with him involved. That's not the Ben Chilwell before he got injured. But again, he's coming back. He did quite well. Let's look at his numbers. And I'm not sure how much of damage this setback would be for him because he hasn't actually recovered from the first one, really. Exactly. And this happened. He hasn't recovered fully from the first one. He played how many minutes? Minutes played. The game was practically ending before he got injured, right?
Yeah. Let me look at it.
Okay. Accurate passes, 53 out of 61, 87%. That's not bad. Chances created, really? 6.
That's out of context, so.
Really? But I wasn't paying attention, though. 6 chances, okay.
He had some cutback in a box, yeah.
But so he was still, again, too reluctant to my liking, and I was complaining as the game was going on. Let's see, again, shot accuracy, again, 0. Again, I didn't think he did try any shot. I didn't think he tried any. Successful dribbles, 1 out of 100%. Pass into the final third, 6 from deep. That's a high. Accurate crosses, 6 out of 9. That's better than he's done since he recovered from injury. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 3. That's poor. Corners taken 6. Let's see, clearances 1, interceptions 1, recoveries 5. So it's a good game. He deserves 8.8 rating. But what do you think, Roger?
I wouldn't give him an 8.8. I think this hammy injury is a setback for him, and I don't think we're going to see his pre-injury levels that we saw against Juventus.
You don't think we're going to see that anymore?
I think starting next year, I think it's going to take him that long. Most professional athletes, it takes them 1 year to 2 years to fully recover to basically produce where they were prior to the injury. and now he's pulled a hamstring, so that will delay his full recovery even further. So I think, where he was prior to this injury, I thought was decent, but I was expecting him to improve each month, but now that's another setback. He's going to be out for a couple of months. So 4 to 8
what sort
weeks.
of injury was that again?
Hamstring.
Oh my
Hopefully-
goodness!
It depends on the grade of hamstring. It could be.
Yeah,
could be
exactly. Second
could be 2
degree
weeks.
or yes. No, it's so Potter alluded to the fact that this is very early reports, but it looks like he's for sure going to miss the England squad, and depending if he needs surgery or not, you're looking at 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Luckily, we only have 10 days or whatever it is till the season ends for the World Cup, and then so you're looking at he'll come back in 6 weeks' time, right? The World Cup is going to the league starts a couple of days before Christmas, I think. So
were we playing before? I think the Man City game. Then it might be the Man City at home in the league after Boxing Day. We're playing on
Boxing Day. Yeah,
I think after Boxing Day fixture, I think it's City. I forgot we were playing. We played Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah, let me look.
We play Bournemouth. We play Bournemouth when we come back from the World Cup, and again we play Forest on Boxing Day, and then Man City.
Is it
so
Boxing
it might be
Day?
back for the City
Is it
game.
Boxing Day or first game? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I think you probably missed the Boxing Day game. Probably come back for Man City.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know the severity, the grade of injury with the hamstring. Could be 3rd degree, could be 2nd degree. It may require surgery. That could be several months. We don't know. But it looks bad. I mean, when you look at when Mount goes over to him and he talks to him, and then Mount puts his hand over his face because he just told him he pulled it. It's bad. So that wasn't
and
a good
here
reaction.
again, St. Jovis again says he took corner kicks. Those counts as chances created. Yes, thank you for highlighting that. And if you pay attention to the number, it corresponds to how many corner kicks he took. 6 corner kicks, 6 chances created. Again, he didn't create chances from open play. Yeah. So thank you for highlighting that. Also, again, yes, Chilwell was especially good in the second half. Again, he played well. What I paid attention to was the interplays and all that. Again, the link couplers and all the hamstring injuries. It takes a long time. And that's a serious setback for him. Chilwell, again, corners with quality this game. I thought, again, he was very good in the second half. Was surprised to see him get slender after the game. Again, the injury is a big shame. I hope Kukurea is up to that. I think he is. Here's the thing about Chilwell. The only thing I still saw that I complained about was that his reluctance at sometimes just cutting back unnecessarily. He still did that. But I think he had a good game overall. The interplays were good. He defended very well too. According to eye test, I am starting to think that Chilwell and James have glass legs. Again, a good lord. Again, they practically get injured after every other game. I get the argument. I think you could argue. It's the approach, the application, the wing back play. I think very stressful. I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm not an expert in that aspect. To be honest. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing is that the dynamic players, like wing backs, wingers, they tend to get muscle injuries because they run a lot. Yeah,
and again, I would say again, to me, he wasn't bad, but I still saw again that reluctance. Again, if he makes quick decisions like put the ball into the box when a player is making a run on the other side of the pitch, again, he'd get more assists by now. But usually the players will be making the run, even raising their arms sometimes, and he still cuts back in and reluctant to put it back. I think that takes time after his injury. Or you could say that has never been his thing always. That's just the truth. He gets you more goals, but chance creation has never been his thing. That's how I see it. Again, let's go to Koulibaly. A huge difference. His participation in the play, line-breaking passes, again, even from deep, really. A lot of vertical passes from him. He brings that aggression that's needed. So we have proper balance. Again, Chalobah is a bit aggressive too, but not as aggressive as Koulibaly. His experience, he made a difference yesterday, actually. Your thoughts are, do you want to talk about Chilwell, Matt? Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, Chilwell, it's just a shame he got the injury. That's all I was going to say, I think. he was just getting back into it, and then he had that injury.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really to say there, but Koulibaly, it was a massive impact that we can see. I think it was precautionary taking him at that 64th minute. But it's just we just got to control injuries, man. I don't know if it's this medical stuff, what's happening, but we just got to control his injuries because Koulibaly again needed for Arsenal. Very, very important player for Arsenal. But in this game, he was quite good.
And
That's all I gotta say about it.
and just quickly, Matt, he was good, really, and we will look at his numbers in a bit. We've talked about it before you joined the panel. Again, it's certain, most likely, that Thiago Silva is going to play. And if they're both on the pitch, I think that will most likely lead to us playing with a 3 at the back structure. What do you think? That's in order to accommodate a Chalobah again in the right centre back position, and so he provides balance. What do you think, really?
Yeah, definitely. I think at this point we can't really be picky on the formation. Like Chalobah has to start if we play back 4, but if we definitely get Thiago Silva fit, then we will transition to a back 3 because obviously they said I think we don't really have the numbers to kind of play a. I mean, we do, but like, I think he would rather play a back 3, like straight off the bat. If he's all the defenders are fit, back 3. So if Thiago Silva's fit, Arsenal will see the back 3 of Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, Chalobah for sure.
Yeah, so we'll most likely go to a back 3. But overall, you again, you enjoyed the impact. I'm going to look at those numbers before I bring in Roger and Rodrigo.
Overall, I think I honestly, I don't think the defense needs talking. I think we should just jump on straight to Mason Mount. That's the big talking point we need to discuss here.
Yeah, we will we will get to him in a bit. Okay, let's get. I think it's important we start with those again that we believe did poorly, and then we'll get to the guys with the high numbers so that we can round them off quickly before the show ends. Again, I seriously need Bowley's numbers because I felt the injuries coming really. Again, sad for Chile again. But if he continues to get injured like this, we might have to consider selling him. He'll still be part of the squad, but probably won't be getting a start that much. Chile and James usually get injured almost at this same time each season simultaneously. That was the reason why things started going down south for us last season. Thank goodness, again, thank God Alonso is gone. Well, do you really mean that now? It coming again, but not as a left back though. Again, James and Chilwell are injury prone. You could again that's a solid argument right now, valid argument if you think. Do you think Chile? Sorry,
that's because of the position. That's
possibly, yeah. Or the wing back play, right? And the application, more importantly.
Exactly. It's a demanding position. Mm-hmm. This isn't the position that was played 30 years ago where you never passed the halfway line. Nowadays,
if you're a defender, you're standing there.
Yeah. Nowadays, you're going up and down constantly. Yeah. It's total sprint,
and you have to do that even when you're not receiving the ball.
Exactly, and you know what it is. That's why these are muscle injuries. These are now. Don't forget, James's was a fluke because he hyperextended his knee the way he landed. So that was a fluke. Yeah. Other than that, it's usually a muscle injury, like a hamstring or a calf or Achilles. This is quite conducive to that position, specifically speaking. It's that position is not really conducive to longevity. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Here we have again. I hope we get a CB or again. Okay, who can play left? Or CB who can play left wing back when the transfer market opens. This is now the priority. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that, but I think probably typo there. Jampot, we need a right wing back. Again, Frimpong from Leverkusen at right wing back. Frimpong, Manchester United wants him, and he's a fine player. One that I'd like to see at Chelsea. They weren't playing wing backs under Lampard. It's not the wing back play that's causing the injuries. What do you think it is? I really would like to get your opinion. Let's look at Koulibaly's numbers, and then I'll start with Matt. We'll start with again Mason Mount. Really, he himself admitted he doesn't deserve to win man of the match in this case. Minutes played 65 minutes. Total shots 1 for Koulibaly. Accurate passes of 53 of 59, 90%. That's a high. Let's say this number is irrelevant. Expected goals, not really relevant. Relevant in this case. Expected assists, not relevant. Touches, 68 touches. Passes into the final third, 8. That's a high, and that's good. If from deep the defensive area, he participates in the play quite a lot whenever he's on the pitch. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 3. That's poor. Again, blocks 1, clearances 2, interceptions 1, recoveries 6. That's high, and I like that really. Ground duels 1 out of 3. That's poor. Aero duels 1, 2 out of 4, 50%. Again, I think given his height, he should be doing better than that. I was fouled 1 time, fouls committed. Yeah, 2. You want Rodrigo? Have you spoken about him before? I will go to the guy that Max is eager to speak about.
Mason Mount. Koulibaly, he had a decent game. Nothing really stood up. He plays really well. You see the difference in a back 4 and in the back 3 as a left. He's not left outside in the back in the back 3. I'll argue that he has to play whenever. But when you have Thiago Silva, fair enough, he plays there. We really need him for this Arsenal game because Saka is fit, so he has to be there to look after.
Oh, is he gonna be fit for that
Saka's
game?
back. Yeah.
But probably not fully fit. It's probably too important to them. But go ahead.
Yeah, he's fully fit. But I was yesterday when he went down, I nearly had another panic attack because he was holding his knee. I was like, no way. Because if that was the case, I think he would have been out for a very long time. But thank God it wasn't. So
I was worried. I really was.
Yeah. Thank God it
and
wasn't.
this question here from again, just really quickly, just said, do you think Chile should have played 90 minutes? I don't think that would have made a difference actually. If what's going to happen, it was going to happen even in training.
Yeah,
go ahead, Rodrigo.
I don't have any issues with the defense that Porto lined up yesterday. This is a defense I was expecting, and I saw it. I won't blame him for playing Chilwell for 90 minutes or not subbing him off. I think that's just it is what it is. It's a hamstring. He could have pulled it in the first 5 minutes. Could have pulled it then, but it is what it is.
Yeah, fullback didn't start going forward recently. They've always done that, except in EPL, Cafu, Roberto Carlos. Those are, you could say, it started out with, again, especially Cafu, at AC Milan. Wow, even for Brazil, he was, Again, although, Jankovic, again, versus those names, I know Cafu, but I don't know all the names you're mentioning there. Branco, etc. were all end-to-end fullbacks.
You don't remember Van Bronckhorst for Barcelona?
Yeah, I don't remember him that much. Again, But again, Cafu, again, I loved him so much because I followed AC Milan. Again, Frimpong is a super player. I hope we get him. My heart was pounding when Koulibaly was down, but he was fine. Again, let's see. Again, one thing I like about Koulibaly is his aggression. It's important. Yes, we don't have to be all soft. And you could agree that was why people was looking for him, wanted Chelsea to sign him, because if you looked at when we had Koulibaly, we had Koulibaly's aggression. We have, again, Thiago Silva's cool-headedness. And then we had, what's his name? Sometimes when he starts on the right, Andreas Christensen, he's cool-headed too. But also, again, he has pace. It's perfect balance. And you can say we have that now if we have everybody fit. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's light out. Again, when he wins the tackle, it's great. But when he misses it, it's light out. Again, I think it'd be near perfect very soon, given, when he plays more games. Sorry, Rodrigo, you were still talking.
I think you meant Fofana. Christensen is no longer here.
No, I know. I talked about the two guys, the balance we had. So I think we have that balance now. Yeah, we have Fofana, we have Koulibaly, and we still have Silva. So that balance is there now. So you were still talking about Koulibaly, sorry, and then I cut you off. Okay, go ahead. It looks like Rodrigo is done. Go ahead, Roger. Again, what do you think about Koulibaly's performance on the day?
Did you mean Chalobah?
I thought he had a very strong game.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I was worried when he was clutching his knee, but he can be somewhat aggressive the way he comes out. He kind of reminds me of Rudiger in that regard, but I don't mind it. Over time, I think he will maybe learn to be slightly less aggressive, but I think it's in his nature, in his DNA. But I'd like to see him stronger in the air, to be honest with you, and especially more clinical when taking corners, heading corners. All of our backliners quite pathetic in our ability to put the ball in the back of the net compared to years gone past. This is what is noticeable that I keep on saying every week. You look at whether it's Silva, Koulibaly, Chalobah specifically. We're not even testing the keeper. It's constant. It's ubiquitous every week. No doubt about it. Simple as that.
Every time you say ubiquitous, it reminds me of my computer class.
Sorry. But yeah, he's. I really rate Koulibaly though. I'm so glad we have him. He's a tremendous asset for us, and he's only going to get better. So
he's only going to again adapt his game to the Premier League and do even better.
He had a solid game last night, I believe, in my opinion.
He made a difference, really. He made a difference. You can say,
and he was having fun too. You could tell.
Yeah, he made a difference defensively and attacking wise. So I have to say that. And we've looked at his numbers. I think, we have. He has, again, balls into the final third. That shows you, again, how, again, more vertical plays for him than safer options, line-breaking passes, even from deep the defensive area. So let's look at this man here, and then we can go to Chalobah later. All the numbers. So let's get it quick because there's a chance Matt have something else to do. A rating of 6.6. Again, like I said, even he accepted that he shouldn't have won the man of the match, but overall, his hard work is still there to see. Total shots, 3 shots. Again, accurate passes, 31 out of 40, 78%. Expected goals 0.10. Expected goals on target, 0.46. Expected assists, 0.02. Shot accuracy, 1 out of 2, 50%. Not bad. Block shots, 1. Total touches is 59. Successful dribbles, 1 out of 3. That's poor. And I think Bobby saw that he gave the ball away. And again, like Aspilicueta did too. Again, what's that one again?
And Sterling.
Just this 1 second. Successful dribbles, 1 out of 3 at times. Passes into the final third, 9. That's a high. I think he played deeper as you suggested. So it's probably a 4-3 something, or either 4-3-3 or 4-3-1-2. But that shows he plays deeper because he plays. If he plays closer to the final third, this number will be low because it's already there. Dispossessed twice. This corresponds to the, again, successful dribbles, 1 out of 3. So he got dispossessed twice. This here corresponds with this one here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, tackles 1. 0 out of 1. Again, blocks 1. Recoveries 4. That's good. Again, dribbled past twice. Ground duels 1, 3 out of 10. Oof, that's poor. So really, again, I can agree with him that he doesn't deserve to win again the man of the match in this one. I have to be honest.
What was the last stat, Coach? 3 out of 10 for what? What was that? 30%.
Ground duels 1.
Ground duels, yeah.
I don't need stats. I got eyes. He's rubbish.
Okay,
I don't need stats to tell me he's rubbish. I got eyes.
So Matt, again, let's get it out of your chest, Matt.
Yeah,
your thoughts on this performance. Roger, you want to go first? But go ahead if you want to go first.
I just want to ask a question. You have a right to criticize someone, as do I, as does anyone. But do you never have anything positive to say, conversely? So I never hear that from you so far. Like I didn't.
I think Matt, whenever Matt is critiquing player, he uses language that I wouldn't use. But again, that's him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt, if you want to go first.
I said this last week. I said that there's 11 out of 23 Chelsea players that I'm not going to defend because they're just not our level. And Mason Mount's the first on that list. This guy's far from our level. The people forget that we used to have Juan Mata, Oscar on our bench, and he used to come on and get 12 goals and gets 12 assists. 12 games, he used to get 12 assists. Like, we used to have standards. But now we come to a day and age where we got Mickey Mount, the ghost, comes in, makes 2-3 passes, and we call him generational. It's embarrassing, right? I've only been a Chelsea fan for 10 years, and I find this embarrassing. How our standards have just dropped. This is Chelsea Football Club. And giving Mount a man-of-the-match performance for, I thought he had a bang-on average, if below average game, is embarrassing. And I've said there's double standards at this club. I mean, for a generational talent, that was an absolute garbage game, but for an average player, that's a average game for him. You know, so I've said there's double standards when it comes to Mason Mount. You know, Tuchel Tuchel was equal. He said all these players are rubbish, including Mount, and he got sacked for it. You know, he got disregarded by the board. That's what that led the board to sack him. So, you know, you can't talk bad about Mason Mount, because if you upset the match going fans, who all 99% of them like Mason Mount, and the board will be upset with the manager. So you can't not be happy with Mason Mount's performance, or you get called not proper Chelsea. But Mount's not a player for our team, guys. He's not that guy. He's a bang on average player. Right, if it was unrealistic, I would keep him as a super sub, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So the best realistic thing is to get rid of him. As soon as we get rid of Mason Mount, Chelsea Football Club will be back, because these performances are not good enough. Against part-time plumbers, he's still not showing up. The guy never shows up in big games as well. This is not our generational talent. We need to sell him and move on so we can get other options, because he's not that guy.
Tell me what you really think.
So Roger, what do you think?
I think that's an oversimplification. I tend to disagree with the harshness of his criticism, which I respect. Everyone's entitled to it.
Yeah, you have every right to, as much as he has every right to.
Of course.
You have every right to disagree. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. I didn't think Mount deserved the man of the match. I agree, but I didn't think he was quote unquote bang average unquote. I thought he had a solid performance. You're comparing. Don't forget, he's quite young, and he hasn't.
No, really.
He's
24.
How old is he right now?
24. That's
still
not
young,
young.
but again, I get your point, Matt. Go ahead, Roger.
He's 23 years and 9 months.
But we saw Reece James.
So
we've seen Reece James.
To be pedantic,
form.
he's 23 years and 9 months. So he's not 24.
Years. So
yes,
he's still old. He's 24
that's
and
not
4
old.
months.
That's
go ahead. Finish your thought again. Go ahead with your thought. Your response, Roger.
Yeah, he hasn't improved in 3 years. What says he's going to improve in the next 3 years?
So
Reece James is
go ahead, Roger. We're not here just to talk about strictly about Mount. We're here to review the game, and everybody has the right to their opinion.
So
Roger, go ahead.
So he's on a high trajectory. Linear speaking, he is improving each year. Okay, so
his performance on the day, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I didn't think it was spectacular. I don't believe he deserved man of the match. I think because of the fact he's also playing on a yellow card, that if he gets one more, he's going to miss the.
Then why start him?
16. No, that's
then
true.
That's down to the manager. Why did he start him in the first place?
Because of his industry, also. Maybe to play him into form. However, you'd have to ask Graham that. You know, I thought he did well. I didn't think he was his usual petulant self. He didn't do anything to get a silly yellow card. You know, he wasn't as feisty, excuse me, as I normally see him. And I think that's because he's playing with the yellow. I think that was somewhat obvious, or maybe that's a misinterpretation on my behalf. But I thought his distribution was excellent. He played in a much deeper role in a midfield three predominantly. So that's why when you saw them,
and I have to agree that can actually be a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think his natural position is a number 8. Generally speaking, but I thought the beneficiary of him playing there was definitely J5. You could tell that, as opposed to a double pivot. So, you know, when the camera zoomed, when we were like pressing, Mount wasn't in the picture. It was Sterling. It was Kai. It was Pierre-Emerick. So that's why you saw predominantly the front 3 pressing. Mason wasn't there. He was in the midfield. But yeah, I thought he did well. He's seldom played there for the most part. So maybe it's a simulation aspect also. A simulation, I mean. So perhaps it's that also, not playing in that position for quite a while. We'll see.
He played as an A last game, and he played 4 games today on Tuchel.
Yeah, he's played.
So he's played.
But I'm saying predominantly. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, this season, I think, has been one of his worst seasons. Like, the goals he's scored has been off mistakes. Like, Aston Villa, no one to listen, but they're off mistakes, right? He's not this player we all think he is. He's a bang average player. Like to sit here and say he's this generational talent, like last game summed it up.
No,
right?
I'm not going to
The
even
guy-
get into the argument of
No,
the
no, no, no,
generational
hang on, hang
stuff.
on.
I haven't
He's not.
said
He's not.
he's a generational.
I never said.
It's
I
too
never
early
said. I
to
never said
say
you did.
that.
No, I
never
know
said you did.
I know where he's coming from with
But-
that argument. He didn't say you
I-
said that, Roger.
I know
I know
he's-
where he's coming
but
from
the thing
that.
is,
No,
and
I get it.
this
I get
sums
it.
up Mason
I'm
Mount.
cool.
This sums up Mason Mount, where we'll see him do a great ball, but then 5 minutes later can't make a 2-meter pass, and that sums up Mason Mount. That he can't. He's a bang average player where he makes mistakes, right? But a lot of these fans don't want to accept the reality. And this guy is a
what
player.
is his
When we come,
positive attributes? Can you name his positive attributes?
he can run.
Please?
He does the
Yeah,
bare
sure.
minimum, and he runs.
And that's it. That's
He's
it.
great. He doesn't get injured. That's it. He
All
can
right,
run and doesn't get injured.
let me catch up with the chat. I think we should look at other players because this Mason Mount argument is one that can go on again for a billion years.
Sure,
I think I'm still going to say I don't think he deserves. I don't think again he's the worst player in that team, but I don't think he deserves to win man of the match.
He's the biggest problem in that team.
Good to see that he himself said he shouldn't. He doesn't think he deserves it. From reports, Dumfries seems again the first choice for right wing back to give Reece James competition, and we called for that. I think the club tried. They tried to factor in the signing of Dumfries during the negotiations for Lukaku's move. Again, it didn't work. I think he's like what of other people out there. I think you could say even his numbers when we checked it weren't that doesn't again. There's not much disparity between his numbers and that of Reece James. I think what Reece has 2 more assists than him. More 2 more goals. I'm not sure which it is. Again, Frimpong and Dumfries are my options. Whichever one the club gets would do well. Chelsea are linked with Dumfries, not Frimpong. Yeah, that's the truth. Let's see what we have here again. Man United don't deserve Frimpong. You think they played so well, they deserve him really. But I get it. As a Chelsea fan, to me, I don't think that we deserve him better than they. We did do business with Leverkusen. Yeah, which makes it even more difficult to do. Again, sometimes we have not too many players again, which means we can go now. Had we gone immediately after we signed Kai, then it'd be a problem. You don't want clubs to see to start again get the perception that you're seeing them as a shopping mall, or you're disrespecting them and all that. But that wouldn't be the case now. Mount got overhyped, to be honest, and now the club's paying the price for that. Yeah. We have to judge him fairly, really.
I agree.
I have to be honest. I don't think he's the worst player. I don't think he's the best either, but I think he has quite a lot to offer. I'm glad Mount acknowledged it. Again, at least I am concerned. Now, again, undeserved awards are filling his head, but he's humble enough, and he said it openly. He doesn't think he deserves it. Even his teammates were having a go at him. Like he said, again, it had always been a problem that there has been a systematic effort to make him the club's face. Well, it was UEFA, really. Plus, if you notice, Mount and Havertz don't play well together. That's not something I have paid attention to.
They can't.
I have to be honest.
Havertz plays better without him.
If you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we have 48 likes. Let's get it to at least 50 plus. Sorry, Matt, you were saying something?
No, it's that Havertz actually plays better without Mount, because Havertz has more freedom to run because Mount takes up that space. That's not because of that's because of the position he plays in. So
yeah,
Havertz
I haven't really paid attention to that. Mount has improved mentally, physically. Again, he's more clinical and hardworking. He just needs, again, to perfect his distribution, and he will be all right. Create even more chances. Zakaria was clearly man of the match. Again, that's how you see it. Mount has been improving, and the improvements are measurable. He's improving his technique. Even his free kick are getting better. Unlike, again, a certain so-called generational talent from
well, they're both rubbish as itself. Like I
get it. Again, you can see some measured improvements in all of them.
You said
they've done well. Where is Lewis Hall? He impressed in one cup game, and we never saw him again. I think Thomas Tuchel should have followed out that performance with subsequent game time. I think by now he'd be part of the team, but I don't know what happened really. I think he can step in for James sometimes. Again, I wish the coach will try academy players. It doesn't sound he's too gassed about doing that. I'm honestly not concerned about the performance. I'm more concerned about the injuries that compounds the situation. Let's see what else we have here to read. Mount seems to have lost his ability to play as an 8. He's been played everywhere. And we have to also, again, say the truth about, again, how many positions these players have been. I think that can be detrimental, especially they started playing in a lot of different positions at a young age. That can also cause a problem. I felt he was better, again, there than he's currently deployed. That's just the truth. 10, also he does well as a 10. Last time I checked, only Eden Hazard, again, can be called a generational talent. I think that's something, again, I don't think we have a generational talent at Chelsea right now. And again, it depends on how you define it. It's a term that gets thrown around. Again, when somebody likes a player too much, they call that player generational talent. To me, given what, again, the term, again, as the term implies, you have to be one of the best.
What about Reece James? Don't you think Reece James could be potentially generational?
Don't you think, again, you have to, before you start calling somebody generational talent, they'd have to dominate, be the best at a certain given generation before you start saying that person, again, it depends on definition. That's why I'm saying that term gets thrown out.
Yes, anyhow. I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, so I don't think we should call them, he's good, he's one of the best in the whole world, but let him dominate a generation, a whole generation, and be one of the best in that generation. Then you can say he's a generational talent. You can say Messi is a generational talent because he's dominated a generation. Ronaldo the same. It's just a term.
I would say for Chelsea, generational talent would be someone like a JT. In
a defensive area, you could say that.
Yeah, and a Lampard. He scored 5 years consecutively, playing from a midfield, 20+ goals a season.
And how many years makes a generation, really?
No. I'm just saying, he's considered one of England's best midfielders. So I would put him in that context for Chelsea.
Yeah. So again, you have to dominate your generation.
Sure. Yeah.
All through until you're close to retiring or you get to a certain age, and when people looked out, they would say, "Okay, you dominated your generation. Then you are a generational talent." That's why I say it's just a term people throw around.
I'm backing up your argument. I'm concurring with you. I totally agree. I'm just showing out that from what I can see in our roster, listen, I'm not being pessimistic, but
I understand. I'm with you.
No, I'm just, God forbid, Reece James may never play another game in his life. Therefore, he's never considered that. He could turn out to be a Ballon d'Or winner 5 years consecutively. Conversely speaking, obviously, hypothetically. So we'll never know. One can't read the future.
Let's just settle. We can just settle and say Mason Mount's not a generation talent. That's all.
We can safely assume, coming from your lips, we can assume that's a given, right?
No, but again, I don't think we'll have any now at the club. Even Mbappe isn't one. I've heard somebody say that.
Really?
I asked them, can you define? Yeah, he isn't.
What?
Let him dominate his generation to a certain length now. Because if anything happens, and he hasn't actually, he hasn't won the World Cup, he hasn't won the Champions League. Again, there are a lot of stuff he hasn't won. You can't just come to conclusion and say he's a generational talent.
Okay, let me ask you a question. And I believe this is the case. Like, Haaland could turn out to be the greatest player we've ever seen statistically, but he'll probably never win a World Cup. So you look at people like George Best. I don't know whether you've ever heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Northern Ireland. Yeah, he was a great. This term "great" is used way too much. Great is maybe 1/10% of all players to be called great. And George Best was great, but he never even qualified for the World Cup. Like Pele, if Pele was born in Northern Ireland, he wouldn't have. You have to be lucky enough to be born in a country that has talent around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Or a Puskas from Hungary. He's a great player. He reached the World Cup final, I think, in 50 or 54 with Hungary. These are great players. Yashin never won a World Cup. He's considered the greatest goalkeeper in the history of the game. So I don't believe that. You have to be a World Cup winner to be considered great.
No, it doesn't have. That was why I said, even though he's won a World Cup, that doesn't make him one.
No, I agree.
What I'm trying to, again, this is not an English class, really. But Just Viola, thank you for that problem you've thrown at. Thank you for that problem you've thrown at that screen right there. But contextually, if we pay attention to the term itself, you'd have to dominate a certain generation. And right now, somebody at this age, again, that's not even 24, 30. And no matter how well they're doing, they haven't dominated a certain generation. You have to do it for a length of time.
Sure.
So when we look back and say, wow, this guy has dominated this generation. So he's, again, a generational talent.
Coach, but right now, I would say Mbappe for the last, 4 to 5 years, he came on the scene when he was 17, 18 from Monaco, then to PSG. I would consider him one of the top 2 to 3 players in the world the last 5 years.
And so that's the way to put it. That's the best way to put it. And not just to say he's a generational talent. He's not.
But I don't base it on the fact that he comes from France and has won a World Cup. Let's say he came from, I don't know, Macedonia, okay, hypothetically speaking, or Liechtenstein. He would never even sniff the World Cup, but I would still call him great. He's very fast. He is. Can you imagine him in the 100-meter dash with Jorginho?
Yeah. Let me quickly catch up with the chat. We'll have a few players to look at again because we don't have too much time. About 10 minutes to round off. We'll have a few players to look at their numbers again. Last time I checked, and Josh Villa, thank you for staring. Yeah, the panel, but I love it. With regards to injuries, I think Chelsea need a bigger team like Man City, and they need to give their academy players a chance. Help them build confidence, and I am sure that they will. We've signed a lot of young players. I think we'll start seeing them, but it's going to be a gradual process. It's not going to be drastic. We're not just going to wake up and see, boom, a lot of, academy players. That Mount is not a regular player, Matt. Again, he might not be the best in the world, but he gets the job done. I can agree with that. Again, you can say you and Matt agree with room to improve. Again, biggest problem I see with him is that he needs to be more creative. Okay, that's the way he's in. Mount isn't the worst. Again, isn't the worst, but being overhyped. Like I said, he's not the worst. He's not the best. That's how I put it. Like the pundits are doing, it will either again make you better or make you play worse. Overhype can be a problem for players. One prime example I remember is it's Ado. Again, when he broke into the scene, he played for the United States. It didn't last 3 years. Is it Ado? Is his last name? I've forgotten his last name, but I think it's of Ghanaian descent given his last name. But boy, the hype, you could say, was the reason why, again, he failed. But I think Mace is too humble to let that affect him. Go ahead, you were saying something.
You're talking about the American player when he was 17, 18, got like a $40 million contract from Nike.
Ado is his last name, right?
Yeah, Eddie Adu, yeah.
Eddie Adu, yeah. Again, I think the hype is one of the reasons why his career, again, went down the drains. But I don't want to talk about that, really. Havertz played it pretty decent. Again, he was good. To me, he was one of the best players on the day. And Sterling, my gosh, denied him 2 delicious assists that he put on the plate for me. I think Sterling is the person we should look at next, actually. I thought, again, he went out on loan. Who were you talking about? The key word is talent. Reece James is a generational talent, but needs a few more dominant years to become a generational player. Okay, you're making this an English class now. Yeah, I'm not sure where to start arguing against Kabi right now. That's crazy the way he just phrased it very well, like a teacher. I'm not gonna do that with. I'm done about the talent thing. Slug it out with Josh Viola in the chat, please, and leave me out of it. If Charlo continues to play well, I think he could be a generational talent. Yeah, just dominate again. Yeah, I think football agents throw that term generational talent around to again inflate their players' values. That may well be the case. Again, it's a marketing gimmick, possibly. Sure. Yep. Sure. Zakaria was my player. Again, it says request to see him on the pitch. What a performance! Sterling missed a lot of chances. He could have had a hat trick. What a poor form run from Alba. However, again, I didn't like the first 11. To me, I expected quite a lot of non-starters to start on the day. The word generational talent is thrown around the Copper graduates like no man's business. English media loves overhyping English players and calling them generational talent, and you could say that has led to issues with most of them. Somebody like you could say what's his name, a former Arsenal, and then switched to World Cup. A lot of players, even Jack Wilshere, I think, hype, you could say you could say was one of the reasons why he didn't last as his shoe. Sorry?
The English shirt is very heavy for most English players, as they say.
Yeah, and again, to me, you'd say, yeah,
the
I think
pressure is unparalleled.
Yeah. For me, Reece James again is a talent to watch. It's not generational yet. That's again, yeah, he's a talent again. Yet, but he could get to that status. That's why so many clubs are looking for him. Yep, he's capable of getting there. And AB, thank you so much. Freddie Ado was the name I was looking for. He was such a fine player, but I think the hype became an issue. Even I think you could say it somehow again started reflecting in his behavior really. But again. Roger really hates Sterling. It's not hate. The guy is seriously poor. And I'm going to look at his numbers. Again, let's start with Raheem Sterling. I was going to look at Cesar Spilicueta. But I don't know how in the freaking world Raheem Sterling got 7.3 rating from Fort Mob, even though I like Fort Mob. And if you're watching, if you haven't, again, please, probably because of the goal. If you haven't,
the goal.
I disagree with Fort Mob's rating generally for each of the games.
I disagree, really. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, go check Fort Mob app. Good app. I use it. I'm using the paid version again, but still, it's only fair that I give them credit. Again, you can get it on Huawei products, Android products, and Apple products. Very intuitive.
What does the paid
you get
version
real-time notifications from games. Sorry?
What does the paid version even do?
Yeah, what's the difference?
The paid version doesn't cost much. It's more like a donation, really, like around, I think it was $5.
But what is it? What does it offer? Any features?
No advertisement, but again, if you do it on your phone, on your mobile device, you still see advertisement here.
Oh.
But the mobile device, you still see an advertisement. But I'm going to talk with them. It doesn't make any sense. And there's no option on the desktop version. There's no option to say, okay, let me get the paid version and stop getting the advertisement on desktop. Yeah. No option here. Even though I'm logged in, as you can see, I'm still not seeing that. Yeah, again, but that's, by the way, let's look at, we were going to look at Raheem Sterling. I don't know how in the freaking world he got this number here, 7.3. Again, minutes played, 83 goals, 1. Probably that's what gave him that. Again, total shots, 3. And let's see, accurate passes. I want to see big chances missed. He's still poor, even though his accurate passes to me is poor. Even though you could argue, yes, it's above 50%, but it's still poor. Even though you could argue, even though he usually goes for the safer option, option in terms of passes, even those safer option passes, he usually don't get them correctly. Usually, it's either he doesn't get to the player, what we call hospital pass in Nigeria, he won't even get to them. Shot accuracy, 1 out of 3, 33%. That's poor. Given his experience and everything that's expected of him, this is really, really poor. Touches 46 times. Again, successful dribbles, 0 out of 2. And Bobby was really going Raheem Sterling. Oh my gosh.
What he was shocking, coach.
Shocking. Yeah, he was shocking, really. Passes into the final third 3 times. Accurate crosses. Yeah. It looks like when Sterling is on the flanks and he's trying to cross the ball, it just seems as if the defending player is the target. Because he always hits the defending player with the ball. I just don't know what's wrong there, really.
He doesn't pass the eye test, coach.
No, he doesn't really. Again, yeah, no. And even everybody sees that. Accurate crosses, 0 out of 4. 4 times, 4 attempts. Yeah. Long balls, 0 out of 1. Again, corners, 3. Dispossessed 1 time. Defense, tackles 1, 0. Recoveries, 3. Again, ground duels 1 out of 10.
Wow.
Jeez. Holy smokes.
Yeah, aerial
duels 1. Forget again, you've heard me talk about his, what he does whenever the ball isn't on the carpet.
Yes, he's in there.
Even if he gets to that location 10 seconds earlier than the opposition player, they still, as long as it's not on the carpet, they still catch up with him. They still take the ball away from him. I know he's not the tallest, but that shouldn't be happening if you get to the ball, to where the ball is going to land on time. Was fouled 1 time, fouls committed 7 times. So he was really, overall, to me, he was shocking. Even though he scored, he shouldn't get a 7.3 rating.
No way. He lost the most duels in the entire match. Wow.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, so he was that poor, really. Again, your thoughts, you go ahead, speak. No, I'll let you speak last, Roger.
I mean,
I'll let you speak last. Matt, your thoughts on Raheem Sterling's performance yesterday?
I mean, I don't think it was as bad as the stats portray. I don't think it was great. I don't think he had a great game, but I don't think it was bad. I think he did his job. I don't think it's a 7.3. I think it's probably like a 6.8. But yeah, obviously got that goal. But I don't think it's been that bad this season, as people say. Like I think people come attack him this season, but
you don't think? Then I'm going to say you're biased, bro. If you're slandering Mount,
no,
who's been even he could say done better than Sterling.
Let me finish. Even if it's what I say.
Go ahead.
I don't think Sterling's been as bad because we've been playing with bums like the guy behind him, James Charles Havertz, and Mason Mount for 3 years, but no one picks up on them. They want to bag Sterling in his first season. What happened to giving time and all that? I never really wanted Sterling. I don't really criticize Sterling. I don't really like Sterling, to be honest with you. But I'm actually very honest with him. I said this season he hasn't been that bad because what happened to first season? I'll give him time, give him this, give him that. I don't know. I just keep it consistent.
You watch him for England?
I say
watch him for England?
I don't watch England. But I'll say all attacks bad. Every single one of them are still bad. We still need to get more attackers. That's it.
He's shocking.
How about his ball touches, Matt?
I don't really care for England, honestly. I just care what he produced at Chelsea. And at Chelsea, what he's done is decent. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say it's better than what Mount Havertz has done. I think it's been the best attack's been shit anyway.
What do you think, Roger? Go ahead. I know why I said I want you to speak last.
Yeah. So have you ever watched him when he played for Liverpool or Man United? I've virtually watched about probably 3/4.
No, he meant Liverpool. He meant
Liverpool and Man City.
Mm.
Have you ever watched? I've watched over probably 3/4 of his games as a professional. My cousin's a diehard Liverpool fan, and we've always concurred, that his first touch, he's got speed, he's got especially recovery speed. And, he used to be solid with dribbles. He could get past people. Those were his two attributes, with the exception of going to City. He learned, and you could tell he excelled in the fact that he made very intelligent runs to the near and far post for tap-ins. So you have to give him, because his football IQ is very high. So I concede that. But his first touch, he is not technical. He's woeful. I've watched him for Liverpool, City, and England, and now Chelsea, and it's shocking.
But why do you nitpick someone like Sterling, but you don't? Because call Mount a great player and Havertz a great player when they're playing.
No, I've never called him great. I've never used the word great.
He hasn't called him great, man.
I've never called him
before,
great.
Just backing him, saying, "Oh, he's a good player."
Because if you listen to me, I've given him positive. I'm talking about him. I mean Sterling. I give him positive attitude, just like I do with Jorginho. I give positive and negative. I'm not biased. I don't have an agenda with the player. I'm not saying you do, but you seem exceptionally negative towards a certain player. And then
let's talk about stuff. Go ahead with your thoughts on how he did. Roger, don't worry about how Matt talks about him.
Sure. I thought he was poor. I get it. I thought he was poor, Coach. I did like his goal, though. I thought he took it well.
But it was a well-taken goal. Even Bobby admitted it. As much as Bobby hated his overall play on the day, two clear-cut chances that he missed, really.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I thought he had two attempts that he didn't even test the keeper. That was shocking, especially the second one. That should have been a goal. He's not clinical. He just isn't.
Yeah, I have to say the look on Kai's face when he missed those chances, because I think Kai could have been a contender for the man of the match had Sterling put away those chances.
That was a beautiful cross, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. One was just the way where Kai was before he orchestrated that pass, it was delicious, really.
Yeah.
And again,
Sterling is consistently poor. The key term here is
he's been consistently poor for us, really. Yeah. I have to agree with that.
I'm statistically and via the eye test. That's all I'm stating. He does have good games occasionally, but if you have a look, his dribbling is woeful this year. It seems to be trending downwards each year. Maybe it's a confidence issue.
I don't know. I don't think he's never had that final shot, though. We've always known that.
No, but his dribbling, his positive attribute used to be dribbling past people. He doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah. Let me let me catch up with the chat here. We have again, Sterling is a frustrating player to watch. Honestly, Pulisic can maybe be ahead of him. Again, I think he's trying. Again, do I think he's a bad player overall? I'd say no, but he's been in poor form of late. Like you can say, it's been like about 5-6 games now that people, even pundits, are starting to question whether he should actually make it on Southgate's list for the World Cup. And I don't blame them. Look, we have to be objective here, whether you like him or not. To be honest, I'm surprised Sterling actually scored with his left foot. With his weaker foot. That was the surprising aspect. But again, it was a well-taken goal. You can't take that away from him. It was placement rather than power, which was good, because had he gone for power, he'd miss it. But yeah, I don't want to get into the ones he missed, but those were awful misses, really. Yeah. Those were awful misses. The first one you'd question, should he have tried to use his head because it was a bit high from the ground? If you want to try to use your feet when the ball is a bit high from the ground, sometimes you just need to jump to level up with the ball to get it to go at the level that will get into the post. But you can say he lacks confidence to a certain extent. Again, he lacks confidence right now overall, because him missing those 2 chances, to me, I didn't think he believed he'd be able to put them away. Man City fans always get frustrated with Sterling, but he gets good numbers each season. Again, they play differently there, and we're not at that level yet where it will always be a tap-in. But believe me, Erling Haaland would put that chance away. He's not Haaland.
Yeah, no, obviously, Haaland
team that will put that chance away. Two of them.
Coach, we had 22 shots yesterday. Haaland would score 22 of them. Our attackers are rubbish. It's not just Sterling.
They're not clinical. They're not clinical.
We're not. And it hasn't changed.
We would have won 22-0 if we had Haaland yesterday.
It hasn't changed. And before we go, I think after this, we just go out again to looking at the overall numbers, because we can't look at every player. And it's been an awesome review so far, because we did details. Again, I see how you guys nitpick Sterling so much. However, again, put Havertz on Mount Rushmore. I see if he's special when he is average. This is not about praising any particular player or again, putting down the other one. No, I think you got it all wrong. Tell me, Otis Maxwell. First of all, welcome to the channel. You are entitled to your opinion. That's why we're here. Did Sterling do well yesterday, even though he scored a goal? Be honest with yourself. So again, when we're not comparing him with Havertz. Havertz had a better game that he's had for a while yesterday, creating 2 clear-cut chances. Plus, his overall performance was good, really. You get the point now. And this is, again, we are talking Chelsea, and you're using, his England performance to mark him. It makes sense, again, in terms of the context overall, if we're going to say that way. If we're being honest. Otis, again, Sterling started well with TT, but under Potter, he has been poor. It's as simple as that. And thank you for saying in your opinion. Here, we all see things from different lenses, and you are entitled to express your opinion. And that's why we're here to talk about. We all cannot agree. Also, I thought Broya looked really good when he came in. And of course, I actually expected Broya to start. I did expect, but surprisingly, he didn't start. Need a few goals, though. But you got to give him a chance. He has to start. Yeah, again, guys, the fact is that, again, the entire attack lacks composure. There you go. You just erupted off yourself. But I'm going to bring in, again, IBZ quickly, because we're about to round off. We'll look at the overall number before we call it a day, except if we decide to look at one more player. But I don't think I have too much time now. Roger, your thoughts on Sterling's performance yesterday. What do you think, really?
I mean, you have to give him credit. He did put the ball.
Sorry, Roger, you've spoken. I was going to say IBZ. Apologies.
Sorry, no
but go ahead with what you're saying, Lant. Then I'll bring in IBZ.
No, you have to give him credit because he did score with his weaker foot. So you have to give credit where credit's due. But overall, a poor performance.
Yeah. IBZ always wearing his shirt, even at work too.
I
IBZ,
swear, man. Look here.
Your thoughts on Sterling's performance yesterday?
It was all right. He got his goal. You know what I mean?
It looks like he has a poor connection there. I think that's what it is. And here we have. Let's see what we have here again. Performance doesn't always win matches. That's the two goals do, and he didn't score all the chances. But the other players didn't either. But he should have scored the most. If we're really going to make that argument, he should have scored the most. Go ahead, IBZ, so we can look at the overall numbers and call it a day.
Yeah, man, he did what he needed to do. You know, it's when we conceded, that's when I was like, my head dropped. You know what I mean? But credit to the boys, come back. Sterling, well taken goal. You know, cutting in from the right, hitting it on his left.
And he had two players on him, if we're being honest.
And I was looking closely at the dribbling technique. He used his right foot to put it forward twice before he used his left to slide it past the goalkeeper, which was good. You can see what it meant to him. You can see his reaction, like, you know what I mean? Like, finally, got a goal, which is happy. I mean, you know, overall, maybe we could be better, but, you know, we won. The guys scored. The guys that, you know, needed to score, scored, you know. Sterling scored. Zakaria came in and did what he needed to do, you know. No, you know, everything is okay. You know, we steadied it yesterday. Obviously, it's a non-meaningful match in that respect, but, you know, in terms of getting players fit and, you know, giving a good performance before the weekend, yeah, you could say it was all right, you know. But the biggest test will be this weekend. We all know this. So,
oh yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and again, I can't thank you enough for finding. Even though you're at work, I cannot thank you enough for finding the time.
Man, I thought I'd just come back before you head off. I'll just come out of the big.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, and I understand you at work. Bills don't pay themselves. Again, I will keep imploring us to be patient with our players. Again, let's be reminded that Hazard took a minute to get going. Really? No, he didn't. Going to. So Drogba,
Hazard didn't take a minute. Drogba took a minute.
Drogba took a minute, but Hazard started again doing it immediately. His first game, he was electric.
Drogba took a minute. Drogba really took a minute, and it was really sad to see Drogba being abused as well. But yeah, it was. Thank God now he's a legend, eh?
Yeah, and your argument makes sense. Again, let's be reminded Hazard took a minute, but your argument makes sense, but I will remove Hazard from there. So the Drogba did take a minute, but when they did, there were no stopping. But you could say some of those players you're presenting this argument for, some of them has taken years, more than a minute, and still nothing. Hi, Coach, again, and Blues. Lalo, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate you doing that. Again, thanks so much. Here we have, again, guys, just take it as a positive, because if he is this bad and scored, he will only get better. Again, that's the truth. I hope he scores more goals. Let's look at the overall numbers. Do you guys think we should look at any other player here? I think Chalobah, to give him credit for the job he did.
Do we look at Zakaria?
Sorry? Zakaria, did we? I think we should. Let's look at him. We haven't. Yeah, let's do that. Again, quickly. Again, minutes played 71, minutes goals 1. Total shots 1. Again, accurate passes 39 out of 40, 98%. I think he's probably the best. I'm sure he surpasses Jorginho on this one.
I can't wait for later. I was asking guys. I was like, why are we not playing this guy?
Yeah. Like, maybe the manager needed to approach it like this, so he's at his best.
He's got to put a sign in, number one. He's not good enough, number two. Like, hang on, are we really writing off this kid?
Let's have it, right? Yeah,
he's better than this kid play, bro. I said,
what you say, Matt?
Can't be worse.
I said he's better. I said he's a better sign than getting Declan Rice. That's what he is.
No. I don't think so.
He is. But trust me, he's a better sign than Declan Rice.
I wouldn't do that comparison. Not to compare players, but I'm just saying for what we have. But we haven't signed Declan Rice, have we? So we wouldn't know. But
no, from last season.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. Yeah, that's the truth.
And inshallah, we never sign him. Man, I don't want that
guy. Matu.
Let's finish looking at his numbers. Again, attack is shot accuracy 1 out of 100. That's the only shot he took, and it was a goal. So yeah, it makes sense. Touches 49, but 98% pass accuracy. That's awesome. Pass into the final third 6. Accurate long balls 2 out of 3, 67%. That's fair. Dispossessed 1 time. Tackles 1, 0 interceptions, 2 recoveries 7. That's a high, and I like that. Ground duels 1, 3 out of 650. I think he can do better than that. Probably a bit match rusty. Was fouled 3 times. Overall, a good performance. 98% pass accuracy. Let's see if he beats Jorginho in that. Jorginho usually tops that one. Minutes played, again, 90 minutes. Let's see. Accurate passes, 76 out of 82. Yeah.
The
So,
only criticism I had of him, which is probably not even a criticism, probably just shot, was before the first goal, the ball came in. He didn't really go. He didn't really commit to that tackle. He kind of shrugged off, and then that ball went through to the wide, and that ball got popped in the box. I believe he could have had a say in which making sure that ball didn't even reach the box. But all in all, man, again, that's not really the criticism, so that's a bit harsh. But you know, he did well, man. I can't really fault it, man. I really, maybe because I've been standing him since we've signed it. Like, yo, can we just get this brother in the middle of the pitch, please? Because we just got this Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho situation where we got this brother that can probably do the same thing, even probably better. But we'll see it. It's good that he came on. I'm just happy he scored and he played well, so that now there is an argument to say, you know what, bring him in the next game. Not obviously start him, but bring him in, let him feature.
I think he will do well for us in the next game because we need a very strong midfield.
Does he start for the next game?
No, he doesn't.
I think if he's fit, if he's fit and Jorginho and Kovacic are injured, he starts for me.
Okay.
I think he's a really replacement.
I hear that, but I believe that the manager will gradually put him through in it, and I don't think he's going to be there now. In it, I would like him to start against Arsenal. Obviously, he can't because he's injured. But I think moving forward, we're going to see more of him, but not as a starter.
Well,
I just believe there's more loyalty.
He's got a knock, guys.
Yeah, he's in his tweet. He said he's fine.
Yeah. I still don't expect him to start against Arsenal in that respect. But yeah, I
probably Kovacic comes in.
I definitely expect him to play more. Now that we've seen him, what he can do, he's physical, coach. Physicality in that midfield, breaking of play, stopping,
guarding the ball very well. The way he gathered the ball reminds me of Mikel. Mikel does that better.
You know what I mean? And that could only be positive. That has to warrant more game time this year. Surely. Surely this season we give him more game time. Surely we don't terminate the loan in January and send him back to Juve. Surely.
No, again, as long as he's played, he has to finish the season with us. That's what I'm learning. Because he's played now.
Yes.
He has to be here until the season ends, no matter whether we like it or not. Yeah.
I think it warrants him playing more time, for sure.
Yeah, I think he will. He will play more games, but probably a lot after the World Cup. Not right now, really. I'm going to catch up. We're going to look at the overall numbers, and we'll call it a day because I'm already late. Again, if we can do this, he's better than Rice. I agree, but let's see. Again, bro, thank you so much for finding the time to join. I appreciate that. So for the overall numbers, we had, again, a 58% of the possession. They had 42, a 2.75 expected goal. They had 0.91. So again, you can say we did better. Total shots, 22 shots of the 7. Again, a lot of issues, scoring fewer goals, even when we take a lot of shots and create a lot of chances. 3 big chances, 1 big chances. You could say the 2 of those 3 big chances were the ones that Raheem Sterling missed. Again, big chances missed, 3 overall. Oh, wow. Again, accurate passes. We looked at that. Fouls committed, 17, 16. Offside, 0. Again, corners, 9 more corners. Again, you can say for a while now we haven't had more corners than the opposition team. To me, it was, again, a professional performance, not the best. We weren't as porous as we were against Brighton. And I expect us to play with a 4 at the back approach, but it's looking more, again, like it's going to be a back 3 because the manager would want to accommodate a Chalobah. So, again, your final thoughts on everything we've talked about. Again, we have just about 3 minutes to round off. Roger, then I'll go to Matt and we can call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a solid performance, but you've got to take into context the level of opposition. I'm worried about this week, but, I mean, we could have done worse, but I was mostly disappointed in the lack of being clinical. I thought it was woeful in that regard. And also the fact that we didn't keep a clean sheet, obviously. Other than that, I thought when you consider who we played against, I expected this performance.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah. Again, how about you again, Matt? Your thoughts on the performance overall?
think this
Your final
performance
thoughts
wasn't
or anything
really.
else you want to talk about? Again,
Yeah, no,
that's it.
I think this performance wasn't really anything exciting. Wasn't really anything too drastically look at. I think it's just the same old Chelsea. Like it's for me, it's nothing new. Same performance. The only thing we saw new was that Zakaria is more involved, and we can see him constantly more games. But I still think we have a very mid-table team coming against Arsenal. It's going to be very tough, very, very, very tough. And coming with the rotation that we come in, we don't really have depth. Like example, Kepa obviously gone, Mendy comes in, Chibo's gone, Cucurella comes in, but what if they get injured now? So we don't really have that depth. So that's my problem for me. And coming to Arsenal, we have a very, very mid-table. So I'm hoping we can, shine, because we need a miracle to get a big win on that. I'm going to be happy for a draw at best. Like that's how much our standards have dropped because of these players. But let's see, man.
Yeah, for me, I think given how concerned we are, that we fear them, we respect them, I think we'd do better. Again, that's a Chelsea thing. Again, had Arsenal won, 1 million game and we're the 1,000,001 opponent, I think we'll probably most likely lose. But this time they've won quite a lot, haven't lost, too much. So which means we'll beat them. With that, we've come to the end of the show. Again, don't forget to go check out Max's channel. And Roger, if you have a minute, I want to ask you something regarding what I mean. I explain what I mean by potential for the collaboration.
Sure.
Again, thank you so much, guys. I cannot thank you enough. Thanks for finding the time to join the show. Again, I'll see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Are you there, Coach?